Hey, this is Rikki Roxx, and you are listening to Roxx100.com.
The Big Rock.
The Big Rock. Keeping the music alive.
Bon Jovi. Lenny Kravitz.
Hey, all you rockers. This is Johnny J, your host for The Big Rock. Catch me right here on Roxx 100 as we are keeping the music alive, rocking the 70s, 80s, and 90s. The Big Rock on Roxx 100.
Rock. The Big Rock. The Big Rock.
Everything that rocks. Rocks.
Hey folks, head on down to Earl's Meat Shack, featuring the area's finest selection of new and used meat sticks. We've got everything. Buffalo patty jerky, we've got dick sticks, salami slices, and we even have those pterodactyl flavored everything. If you hit a raccoon, porcupine, or squirrel, we'll lug it in. We'll turn that late night tragedy into a tasty snack. That thump with your fender never tasted so damn good. We're located in the parking lot of the Dixieland Dirt Mall, just off of Jabroni Street on Telegraph. Head on down. That's Earl's Meat Shack.
Hey kids, would you like to be a rock god the likes of David Lee Roth in his heyday? Then you need to get the
Rikki Roxx Rock God Starter Kit.
Each kit comes complete with black nail polish, eyeliner, sparkly scarf, an actual chick magnet, a velvet jacket to make all the girls go wild, and an over-the-hat skull cap with bandana accessory. Act Now will also include a handy booklet showing you all the best places to wear your sunglasses at night. Regularly a $29.95 value, now yours free when you take advantage of this fabulous offer. But don't act just yet. We'll also throw in a wall poster chart diagramming all the best rock faces to enchant your audience, proven to wet the ladies' panties in mere seconds. For all you newbies, this great kit also includes a CD demonstrating how to push your voice for the radio, taught by Rikki Roxx himself. So quit being a big puss and man up rock style with the
Rikki Roxx Rock God Starter Kit.
Now yours for just $29.95 plus $99.95 shipping and handling. Call now. 1-800-ROCK-GOD. That's 1-800-ROCKGOD. Now. Operators and tattooed hookers are standing by to take your order.
Do your best before making an arrest. What you gonna pick? Cop pockets when you don't want something salady. Avoid police brutality. What you gonna pick? Cop pockets.
Cop pockets, filled with juicy jelly, mouth-watering maple and bacon, and creamy custard on a crispy donut.
When you want an easy meal while you're busting that your deal. What you gonna pick? Cop pockets.
The cop meal in a pocket. What you gonna pick?
Cop pockets.
Did you wake up this morning with a nasty rash and nothing but regret? Did you go home with a sweaty bass player last night? Did you wake up wanting to chew your own arm off because some skank's laying on it? Are you feeling a burning itching sensation in your crotchal region? Do you feel like you need to scratch your ass with tree bark? Are you walking around like you were banged with a Scud missile? Did you meet someone at the bar you thought would actually call you back? Idiot! Then you need Skankosporin. It'll cool that burning sensation before you do the walk of shame to the cab. That's Skankosporin Itch Paste.
Available in In-N-Out Party Stores, Bottles and Stuff, 8 Mile Liquor, and Cunningham Drugs.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Rikki Roxx, Rikki Roxx. It's Rikki Roxx, coming out of the box. Bitches come in flocks, trying to steal his jocks. He needs to be contained with padded rocks. It's the Rikki Roxx show, spreading like the pox. Rikki Roxx, Rikki Roxx. Rikki Roxx, Rikki Roxx, yeah. Rikki Roxx, Rikki Roxx. Rikki Roxx, Rikki Roxx, yeah. Rikki Roxx up in your grill, motherfucker.
Yeah. We made it.
I'm not feeling it today, dude.
Sunday fun day.
I'm not feeling it. I feel like shit today.
I just woke up like an hour ago.
I wish I woke up like an hour ago. God, why do I sound weird? Do I sound bassy to you?
No, you sound like typical Rikki.
Oh man, I sound like
smooth jazz.
Yeah. Coming out of whose bot? Oh, okay. Erica's in the chat. Okay, so there it goes. So yeah, here we are, episode number 105 of the Rikki Roxx Show, right here on Roxx100.com. I am Rikki Roxx, joined as always by Kevin Razlog.
Howdy.
Just woke up out of his slumber. I don't know what you're talking about there, Erica. The master
baser. Master Bates, Master Bass.
But if you say Master Baser, okay.
Whoosh.
See, I'm out of it, and we'll get into this in a little bit. I had a show last night, and I've been saying on the show, because this sobriety thing, that this weekend was going to be the weekend where I'm going to finally go.
Ricky's coming out.
I'm coming out. I'm going full bore. Ugh.
Not a good move?
No, not a good move. We'll get into all that and more right here on episode number 105 of the Rikki Roxx Show after our nuts and bolts and harsh truths, our advice segment. This week, it comes from Mark from Toledo, Ohio. Mark writes, "Hey guys, I have a question about where a band is from and whether it matters. Back in the old days, bands would move to London or New York or Los Angeles to make it in the music industry. Is that still the case? Does a location of where a band is from make any difference in their chances of making it in the music industry? Would a band from Toledo have a better shot if we moved to New York or LA?" Mark in Toledo. Kevin Razlog, what are you thinking?
I mean, to be completely honest, I don't think it fucking matters where you're from. Like, it is kind of interesting though, because there still is those situations where like artists will move to like Nashville or like LA, and I think more of it's out of maybe finding like more shows and like different producers relatively easily,
right?
And I say that in regards to like certain genres, you know what I mean,
right?
Like your pop and rock and shit like that. Like metal, I don't think a metal band's gonna move out to fucking a specific area like make it, you know what I mean?
It's so you think it kind of depends on the genre you're going for?
I don't think it's a thing. Like, it is a thing, but I don't think it holds much weight. Like, it might increase the odds like a little bit, but to be completely honest, I don't think it fucking matters.
I mean, like you kind of said, if you're a country artist, you will probably get a bigger fan base. If you were in, if you're good and you live in Nashville,
right,
as opposed to if you're from
Chicago
or Boise, Idaho, or something like that, you'll probably have a better shot at building like a live fan base.
And I think your odds of finding a musician that plays that genre like might be a little higher.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, fuck, We Came as Romans, they're from Michigan.
Yeah.
Devil Wears Prada, they're from fucking Ohio.
Slipknot's from Iowa.
Yeah. Trivium's from Florida. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter where you're from, to be completely honest. I think some people try and use that as a means to, like, help propel them, but I can't just sit there and say, oh, that works. Now, the funny thing is, surprisingly enough, when I was booking for my band and like a lot of other bands from the Metro Detroit area, it always seemed like people wanted to book bands from Detroit because Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
I got that a lot, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
But then again, they could be, fucking Columbus, Ohio. You know what I mean? They could say that to anybody. But
Right.
there was always that kind of like people wanted to book bands from like Detroit.
Yeah.
So
not
saying move to Detroit to make it.
No, this is, and that kind of, I don't know if it's really
Erica said, didn't Christina Chris move from the way?
Yeah, it's all right. Christina
Every
never
single
listened to
day.
Dead hookers everywhere.
That's for you, Chris Slapdick.
Yeah, that was, that's the first name that popped in my head. Christina Chris, she moved out to LA. I don't know why, because the rest of her band is still here and Kaleido's still a thing, I guess. But Christina Chris is out there schlepping in LA and shit. Must be fucking nice, but, and it's like...
There's a band from Wisconsin that I was working with that moved out to LA too. But I mean, to be honest, I don't think it's going to do as much as some people would think.
See, the thing is where I could see it being advantageous to move, like if you're like Mark's from Toledo, if you had that kind of money to pay for one of those big name producers, that are doing,
and that's kind of where I was alluding to, is like there's certain connection.
That bug, I see it.
Motherfucker.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, you got. Yeah, wipe it on the table, bro.
I mean, like, I feel like that's the taking like the cheat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you're hooking up the game genie to the musician game, and you're using those cheat codes. And to be honest, it might not work.
Yeah,
the odds of it working, I don't think, increase really that much.
Well, and then there's back in the day. In like the 80s, the bands would move out to LA
for color television.
Because that's where all the record labels and shit were. They were out in Los Angeles. There ain't no, at the time, I guess, no major record labels in Detroit or Iowa. They're all in New York or LA. So that's where the bands moved because it'd be easier for the PR people or whatever the fuck they are to just walk down the street, and pop into a club and sign a band out of a club, but I think with social media being how it is,
and that's kind of why I was saying like maybe certain genre, like if you're doing singer-songwriter kind of shit, like Nashville, we were there on a Monday on our day off, and every fucking bar, restaurant, whatever was packed.
Yeah,
and it was like the singer-songwriter kind of shit, like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with like Arizona, like when we were in Austin, like there was tons of like dudes playing the acoustic guitar with the case open, people throwing some dollars in it.
Right.
But like we're talking like a fucking metal band. Like I don't foresee that really working out. But it depends on the situation. But I think ultimately, if you're trying to get a connection higher up in the business, it could help. But
So to Mark, it's probably. There are some benefits, I guess, to living in LA or New York. Is it worth it for a band to make that commitment to move out there?
You could probably put all that money into like funding shit for the band and get further.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's, you caught the ear of some producer that wants to work with you. You're like, oh shit, the guy that recorded Metallica or something wants to record. It's cool shit.
Did he do Lars' snare drum?
Drummers probably wouldn't want to do it, but is it worth it to move? No, right. I would probably not. If you really want to go record out there, go fucking record out there, make a fucking vacation out of it. Stay out there for a couple months to get up and move. No,
a couple months. Fuck, must be nice.
It ain't fucking worth it. So. Raz, what's been popping?
While
I drink my tea.
Waking up at 3 and 4 in the afternoon and being a fucking bum. That's about what's popping.
So work treating you good? Coffee talk, Kev. Coffee talk. Coffee tack me.
Well, I was telling you off air, but basically for like 2 weeks, I'm going back to days, and then after that 2 weeks. So I fucked my sleep schedule up doing this shit.
Yeah.
And then I get to go back, and then beginning of July, I go to fucking C Crew, which is 2 days on days and 2 days on nights. Fuck my life. Can I get an F in the chat, please?
I feel like I should... F in the chat.
I'm not looking forward to it one bit.
Oh, Chris is there. So here's Chris. There you go. There you go. Chris. That's all we got. Scott Mahalo's in the chat. I just want to shout him out. Steve Engel and all Erica and the whole crew. All right, continue with your story here.
I ordered tickets for a concert, like a big concert.
Oh yeah, which one?
August Burns Red in September. Hey, dude, I couldn't pass up the VIP tickets for $80. And plus,
you could have.
Plus, Era and Fit for a King are playing too. So I love all three bands.
Well, here's the thing. You could have went to, now I can announce this, Blue Ridge Rock Festival with your boy Rikki Roxx and Casting Shadows, where August Burns Red will be playing.
I know.
With Rob Zombie, Lamb of God, Megadeth,
and then 100 other bands.
August Burns Red.
You already said that.
Well, I gotta say it twice. So you paid for tickets to go see it. I could have got you in for free. Rob Zombie, Five Finger Death Punch, Breaking Benjamin.
But VIP meet and greet, bro.
Backstage, bruh. For free. Limp Bizkit, Shinedown.
Oh, shit.
Rise Against. Cypress Hill, Gojira, Mastodon, Skillet, Anthrax, Theory of a Dead Man, Black Label Society, Killswitch Engage, Body Count, POD, Testament, Pop Evil, Tech 9, Motionless in White. I'm sure you love those guys.
Yeah, they're good.
Ice 9 Kills. They did shit with Ave Under Fire. Yeah, Seven Dust. They're there too.
You
Bad
should be
Flower.
their spokesperson for
August Burns Red. We Came as Romans. We were talking about them, a Michigan band. All That Remains. I'm sure you're into that kind of stuff.
I don't like All That Remains. Is Anvil on it? Steve Ingalls.
No, Anvil's not on it.
Well,
Drugs.
I'm not going.
Drugs. That has that singer from what's that Michigan band? Chiodos. I think that guy. Corrosion of Conformity. That sounds like a band you'd be into.
Actually, I was never really.
From Ashes to New. Non-Point. I'm sure you love Non-Point.
They're okay.
This guy's like big on the radio. Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones?
Aaron?
No, it's A-Y-R.
I know.
Yeah. Miss May I? Chelsea Grin?
I like Chelsea Grin.
Il Nino?
I saw he was at Dirt Fest, I think.
Stitched Up Heart?
Nah.
Man, Steve-O's going to be there? Casting Shadows is going to be there?
Well, which Casting Shadows?
This one? Yeah, and
that'd be something if both of you guys were on it and played like
back to back.
Oh shit!
So Steve says Nick the chef loves Chiodos. So you could have went and hung out for a fucking weekend, partied with Casting Shadows, saw August Burns Red because I'm sure they're playing like on a Saturday in the middle of the day somewhere.
Yeah, but the thing is, with me being in an assembly plant during launch, my vacation will probably get denied. Like one night is a lot to ask for. So
just quit. You don't like the job anyway. Just fucking leave. You got a couple months to figure this shit out.
I gotta have a backup plan, bro.
Well, you got 4 months to figure this shit out. This ain't till September, bro. You can figure this shit out.
All right.
You can, meet and greet. What date is that the one you're going to?
Let me look. I don't recall off the top of my head. I just saw they were playing here and I was like, ooh, I'm buying those. Let's see.
Great radio. Love it.
Oh, wait, that's not the right thing. Start talking so I can Google this shit real quick, Ricky.
Oh, God, it's not that big a deal. But I was going to say, if it was like something like September 8th or something like that.
It's later in the month.
Okay, so you could go talk to him backstage at Blue Ridge and be like, hey, man, I'm on the road right now, but I'll be back up in Detroit, just in time to see you guys play. I'd love to hop on stage with you guys, maybe rock some drums.
Tuesday, September 28th.
Yeah, it'd be like, I'll be back up in Detroit, I'm going to be done with the tour here with the band, and I'll be back in Detroit.
With my posse.
Yeah, I'll be back in Detroit by the 28th, maybe it is, Matt, because we've talked to you on my radio show, and you can even say it's your radio show. You can throw me under the bus. And be like, yeah, we talked to you on my radio show.
I'm going to try taking a Roxx 100 shirt and seeing if we can get them to wear it, like...
There you go.
At a show or something.
There you go. And then you can be like, yeah, it would be great,
Oh, you know what I should do?
I'm a drummer. If you would just get your ass out of the way.
I should go to Blue Ridge,
give
them the Roxx 100 shirt, and say, when you're in Detroit, can you please wear this shirt?
Yeah.
And then he's got to rip it off.
Oh, no. Matt Griner, don't rip my shirts. See, I had this all worked out for you where you could have got hang out with them twice and then be like, yo, Matt, I'm kind of a badass myself. Why don't you just take this set off? Go hang out in back and check on the farm.
I already memorized your whole set. I got the in-ears and everything.
Yeah, just be like, go check on the farm, make sure your siblings are doing good out there and kind of catch up. Hang out in back. I got you, bro. I'm covering for you. Let you get your work done. Get your work did. I gotcha. See?
Oh, man.
That rapport.
You sold me. You sold me.
Steve says, Raz, quit and immigrate to Canada. Universal health care.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Dude, but remember we talked to the guy last week who said the COVID situation there is not fun right now.
I know. Well, so like the universal healthcare thing, like sounds all fine and dandy, but from like people that I know directly that live there said, well, something as easy as like a procedure, like if you're not any like immediate like pain or like severity.
Yeah.
So here, you're probably going to pay a couple $1,000s, but it's like, boom.
You're in.
In Canada, it's like, oh, we'll see you next year. There's a waiting list.
That cancer's only stage 1. You can definitely wait. As long as we catch it before stage 3, you're fine. See you in a year. Let us know when it gets serious.
So here, it's like, okay, I got a mortgage the rest of my life.
Talk to my extremist brother-in-law up there about this universal health care bullshit.
Oh, what is he, like a tinfoil hat guy?
No, he's one of those ultra extremists. Like, everybody deserves universal health care. I'm like, no, universal health care is not good. No bueno.
Well, no.
You get shot in the foot, be like, oh, you're fine. Just walk it off.
The thought process of everyone being able to have universal health care, yes, in a vacuum would be great. It just unfortunately won't work.
Yeah, we got a perfect example of what, with this COVID thing. It's really easy for those hospitals to be overloaded. And that's only, whatever small fraction of people got COVID and the hospitals were filled up.
Right.
So it's like, that would be normal everyday thing.
Maybe I should get a job in healthcare.
That would be a thing. Start a fucking hospital.
Come on down to Raz's. We'll have you in and out in an hour.
The Razzle Dazzle Hospital. Oh, health.
Get a tattoo while you wait.
Drive-through chemo.
Oh my God.
Steve says depends on the city. Yeah, so there you move out to Saskatoon. And
what's up, Patty? How you doing?
Patty Kish. So what the hell were we talking about before I went on my tangent?
Nonsense. Just nonsense.
I guess that's a thing. You see the new graphic I made for the show?
No, I didn't.
You didn't see it? I made it.
Dude, I woke up like a fucking hour before the show.
I made it like last week.
Oh. Wait, did you show me? I don't know.
It was now I'm going on Facebook like a fucking boner.
Is it on the stream?
This thing.
Oh, yeah. No, I
Plus
saw
other
that.
Talking general nonsense.
Yeah, because I was giving you shit. I was like, man, you just went down the rabbit hole of Shudder stuff to find a picture of me.
Yeah. Dude, it's not easy finding a fucking picture, like a high quality picture of you. You have...
Yeah, photographers, when you come shoot our live sets, there's like one picture of Raz and it's always like blurry as shit.
Yeah, it's blurry and like weird angles and super small because they always want to get the whole drum set in there. So it's like your little tiny head just kind of floating behind some drums.
Nick Berry was like the only photographer to ever venture up like on the drum riser, and he'd be like in between the toms and shit.
Yeah, and then it's like, if you found a good picture, you'd have like a derp face or like a stick or an arm in front of your face or something like that. And
I know.
So I had to go to old school Shudder promo shots from like 2008.
Hey, I age well. I still look exactly the same.
Pretty much.
Just more tattoos.
Yeah. So what the heck were we talking? What do we got to talk about? I'm all off track, and because yesterday was.
Are you looking forward to beer of the week?
No. No. I was telling Niggy earlier. She's like, "Oh, are you going to be drinking today?" And I'm like, "I don't want to, but I said on the show last week that I was being bring beer of the week back this week."
Speaking of, where's Steve Dave?
He's probably like, "Fuck those guys. They don't do beer of the week anymore." So I was like, fuck, I gotta, do beer of the week. I told all the fans it was coming back this week. So I go in the fridge because I didn't remember what the hell I had, because I remember I'd bought one, but then I just kind of, because we had like the
proceeded to drink what was in the fridge.
No, we had the Steve Dave collection for that month.
Yeah.
But I had already had like one, on standby. And so I look in there, I'm like, okay, it's been like 2 months since, I bought this. I look at it. It's a fucking Russian Imperial Stout that's almost 12% alcohol. So I'm like, fuck me in my life. Why couldn't I have
12%, baby?
This is stupid.
It's Memorial Day. Get them Screaming Eagles going, baby. 12%. That's pure nitrous.
Oh, but that's a Russian Imperial Stout. So it'd be like, damn commie beer. It's the commie beer. Chris said the Shutter Boys were all cute back then. Now it's like Josh is ripped and gray.
Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, Duck Dynasty ripped and is just like all that is man and sex.
Brian's got a lot of gray.
Yeah. You look exactly the same. And God, who else?
Steve. John.
Well, Well, John didn't play with you guys at the last show, but Steve
still looks the same.
He kind of takes care of himself, though, doesn't he?
Well, he's like Egyptian or like.
Oh, so he's got that blood. He's got that Kardashian blood.
Yeah,
shit.
like they go from basically their whole life looking one age, and then boom, like fall off a cliff at like 80.
Yeah.
Other than that, they pretty much stay the same.
And then Alex is what, 10? So he still hasn't even gotten to that age where he starts to age.
No,
yet.
Alex had like total baby face more than he does now.
Yeah.
Like I've seen some videos and pictures where I'm like, holy fuck, Alex looked real young.
Mm-hmm.
But he still looks really young.
And then there's the eternal fountain of youth that is Kevin Oswald.
I got that Benjamin Button thing going on.
Dude, and I was, because I know I'm a big boy now. And so I was looking at pictures of the show last night. I look like shit.
You're just realizing that.
It's like I used to be able to just kind of cover it up with scarves and layers and shit. I was looking at pictures and I'm like, dude, I can't even cover this shit up anymore. It is bad.
You're the poster child for like why to not do drugs.
It sucked. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I look like I'm a fucking fat ass now. I'm going into Kelly Weaver territory. I'm getting huge. Like he's supposedly losing weight and he's just giving it to me. I guarantee we probably weigh about the same now.
I don't know about that.
It's getting closer.
Jesus Christ.
I know you don't want to talk about that, but
you're fucking hilarious.
So speaking of that, the show yesterday. Mm-hmm. So I did play a show. It was Fallen Stronger CD release.
Oodles and oodles of fun.
Man. Okay. So for people that have been listening, I was on the I don't want to say the sober train because I was drinking. It was more.
You were just more sober than you have been in a long time.
It was more of a thing of
forced
kind of testing it, seeing if I could cut myself off, putting that conscious effort and a timeline.
How bad is my problem?
Yeah. So it's, I was at Diesel like, oh, I thought you weren't drinking anymore. I thought we overserved you, Rikki Roxx. And I'm like, Jesus
that was
Christ.
Yesterday.
They were not happy with me for something I said. They're like, oh man, Rikki, I thought we overserved you, so I'm not gonna give you. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, no, it wasn't like a sober, like I was gonna go clean. It was kind of more like I was
clean-ish.
I was telling, who was it? I think I was talking to Jason Kane about it, and I'm like, no, it was kind of like more of a not drinking during the week, while I'm just sitting down here bored, like after work and cracking a beer and vaping and shit like that. It was more of, hey, let's see if we can just not do that, and then when you go out, not have 10 drinks, maybe have 2 or 3 and not vape. And it was never like going sober, getting clean,
trying to be healthy
thing. It was more of a, let's see if I can control myself. And I was like,
do I need to check into rehab?
And I was telling them, I'm like, dude, when I was doing the New Dodge shows, they'd give me the drink tickets. I wasn't using them all. So I'm like, okay, cool. Free drinks. I was able to not utilize them all. So I'm like, that's a big win for me. I didn't know if I could do it or not, so I'm like, okay, if I put the conscious effort in, I can stop myself. It's just a habit where I just, I have I think we've talked about it.
So what's your excuse for bass playing then?
I'm a shitty guitar player. I don't know. So I was like, it wasn't, like I said a million times, I wasn't going clean. I was going cleaner because it was bad. It was, not breathing, not fun. That's not a cool thing. So yeah, I did really well, but I told myself by the time the Fallen Stronger thing,
this shit's bullshit.
I'm just gonna let it fly. My one night.
That's what you've been doing the last 20 years.
Let it fucking go. So, okay. So the show was great, a really good turnout. The Creeping Chaos, they opened the show at about 7, and then Casting Shadows, we played at 8, then Fallen Stronger at 9, then the Metallica cover band at 10. So I don't know at what point I started drinking too much because when I played,
spoken like a true alcoholic.
Well, no, the thing about it was I knew I had to watch it because I had to play. So I'm like, okay, conscious effort. So a little bit, halfway through the Creeping Chaos, I'm like, okay, I can feel it. I can feel the
deep down in my loins.
I can feel that I'm going to be getting into shitty territory here pretty quick.
Fingers stop working how they should.
Yeah. So I'm like, if I have one more drink, I'm going to be close to crossing that line. So I'm like, okay, stop. I stopped. I went and got a bottle of water. And when we played, I had a couple bottles of water up on stage with me. So we played. I wasn't drunk. I was kind of nice buzz going on,
shibby.
Yeah, I wasn't like falling over.
You were shibby.
Something. I don't know what that is, but
that's the mode you were in. You were shibby.
Yeah. Okay.
You weren't drunk. You weren't buzzed. You were shibby.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. So I guess we sounded good from what everybody said. I couldn't hear shit, because I'm sure you've seen it, heard it on stage. They're like, hey, Tucker, turn your guitar down, or hey, John, turn your guitar down, so you turn your guitars down, like pretty much all the way, on a scale of 1 to 10, you're at like 2, and they're like, we'll just pump you through the monitors. So I always tell the monitor guy, hey, I'm pretty much deaf. If you're going to tell me to tell us all to turn our amps down, I need you to blast that shit on stage, like as loud as it will go. Otherwise, I won't be able to hear it. I don't know if maybe my monitor didn't work. I couldn't hear shit. So I look over.
You should feel blessed you get monitors, bro. You know how many shows I've played where they're like, hey, sorry, drummer. No wedge for you.
Oh, and that's, I was talking to Don, after the show, I'm like, thank God you knew where the hell you were because everybody's amps were so low. I couldn't hear anything. I heard it sounded like practice amps, and then I could kind of hear the reverberation, behind, you don't get a clear sound behind speakers. So it's like, I could hear it going out, but I couldn't hear it coming at me or anything like that. So I'm like, Don, thank God you've been playing these songs fucking forever because if you were off, I was going to be way off and the whole show would have just fallen down really quick. So he's like, yeah, I know. Dog, I play these songs all the time. How Donnie is. And so.
See, I wear earplugs.
See, and I
don't need to hear shit.
Well, I was telling Jeff, I'm like, dude, this might be an issue. Maybe I really am that kind of deaf now because I'm the kind of guy that I can stand in front of the speakers.
Yeah, I know. That's why you're fucking deaf.
And people look at me like I'm fucking nuts, but I'm just standing, like the big speakers at Diesel. I can stand right by the with my ear like this.
Jesus.
And watch the band, and it doesn't bother me. My ears don't hurt. I don't get the.
That's how you get tinnitus.
Well,
bro.
I don't have that.
Do you hear a constant ringing?
No, I don't. I don't hear constant ringing.
It's because you're so fucking deaf.
I'm so deaf I can't even hear the ringing, and so I'm like, maybe I gotta get ear monitors and shit like that. But after we played, because I was emceeing kind of too. Larry wanted me to introduce.
You didn't blow your voice out, did you?
No.
You sound not very hoarse. Normally after a show you're like, hey, this is Rikki Roxx.
No.
I smoked a fucking carton of menthols last night.
Yeah, no, I was, because this is what happens, and mostly when Falling Strong, this has been my history with Falling Stronger. I get too shitty and I talk too much. So what's different? So I was like, okay, today I'm gonna, I'm learning I have to make a conscious effort to do things. Otherwise I fall into old habits.
Oh, it's called being an adult. Yeah. Responsibilities and such.
Well, I've never, did the conscious effort thing. I just kind of figured, okay, when I'm done, I'm done. When I'm done talking,
when I pass out, I pass out.
So I was like, going into the show, I'm like, okay, I gotta make a conscious effort, not too much bullshit, get right down to brass tacks, introduce the band, 1 minute in and out. So I'm like, I
feel like my wife has that conversation about me. Because she always says, we go do something. Yeah. And it should be quick and easy in and out. And she's like, you end up running into somebody. And then it's jabber, jabber, jabber.
Yeah. So that's, when I go on stage, I mean, I've had some rough ones. Like, I think you remember the band Lithium?
Mm-hmm.
So their drummer was there. I think he plays drums in the Metallica tribute band. He's like, hey, Rikki, So I heard that you're emceeing this thing too.
Ooh.
So I'm like,
do you remember back in 2018?
Well, because Lithium played, God, it was like a memorial for some, or not a memorial, fundraiser for somebody at Diesel like years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I got shitty drunk and shit like that. And I just started rambling on stage when I'm supposed to be introducing the band. So I'm like, bro, don't worry about it. Because I knew.
I'm sober now.
I knew what he was, and whenever I'd have a drink in my hand, he'd kind of be like the.
How bad was your previous experience with him? Was it like some stupid tirade where like they had to call security to throw you out?
So what the issue was we were doing this fundraiser thing years ago, and I got a little too drunk, and I was talking for a while on stage, longer than I should have.
Like Michael Scott at Phyllis's wedding.
Yeah. And what ended up happening was I was booking a show. I'm like, dude, Lithium was back for a minute there. So a couple weeks after the show, I'm like, hey, do you guys want to do a show? I'd love to, book a show with you guys. And he's like, no, that's all right. And I'm like, oh, why? Are you guys not, going to do any more shows? Was this just a one-off? He's like, no, to be completely honest, just don't like you. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you for being honest with me. Kind of sucks, but okay. So he was there, and I'm like, don't worry, I'll make it quick and easy. And
that's what she said.
I was in
and out before you knew it.
I was in and out. A couple minutes, I was done.
I already had the taxi cab waiting.
Yeah. So, it was a good show.
So are you back in their good graces?
I doubt it. No, I don't know. I didn't. After I was done interviewing them, I'm like, fuck it, I'm drinking now.
They probably had a little side bet going.
So
how many songs in before Rikki pisses himself?
It was, see, people were saying that I was drunk last night.
Oh, really?
But I woke up today. I felt fine. We were talking about in the band chat. I was really sore. You get sore after playing a show. So I woke up. I'm like, man, my back hurts, my knees hurt. I feel kind of sore. But no hangover or anything like that. I had a glass of water. I felt fine. So I'm like, dude, I remember last night. I drove home fine. I came home and talked to Nikki for about an hour, and then took a shower and went to bed. And all was good in life.
Things only a sober Rikki could do.
Yeah. When you're drunk and you drink too much, you wake up and you feel like death. I don't feel great today. I'm very sore and I'm very kind of just tired, but I'm not hungover or anything like that. So it's a thing. Great show. Fallen Stronger did great. New CD, and then I actually got to sign autographs for the first time in many, many years yesterday.
Wow.
People were kind of hunting me down, be like, hey man, I bought the Casting Shadows CD and I'd love your autograph. I'm like, I'm not on it, but it's not the first.
Been there before.
It's not the first time I've had to play this game where I'm signing a CD that I'm not even on. I wasn't even glimmer in their eye when that.
Don't worry about it. After about the 100th one, you get used to it.
So yeah, it was cool, and I pretty much just realized I'm a fat ass. I got to lose some weight. I'm not looking good.
The
anymore.
dad bod thing's not working out for you.
It doesn't really translate on stage so much. It's fine when you're standing in your driveway drinking tea in the morning, with your cardigan on, but not so. Not so cool when you're trying to be a badass on stage and the dad bod's still a jiggling.
I'm gonna fuck you up, and you just see the fucking rolls.
Oh, jeez. So, what time are we looking at? 7:35.
Do we want to play some
What do
music?
you want to do? Yeah, we can. See, that's another thing. It's like after shows, my mind doesn't work anymore because it's like my brain just doesn't work the day after a show. It doesn't fucking work. I can't, because it's like
booze.
No, it's not even that.
I know.
It's like I'm not used to, because it's like
you just spent everything at the show.
Well,
when you're on stage, you're just giving it Rikki Roxx 100%.
I'm giving it the Roxx 100.
And then after you're done, you're like, I'm spent. And then there's no more Rikki. for at least a day.
No, it's it's like one of those things. Like, I think we talked about this. Like the day of a show, my whole day revolves around that show and thinking about things and thinking about what I got. So it's like all day I'm just racking my head and like making sure I'm not forgetting something, making sure I posted what I need to post, making
Ricky's
sure
just standing in the mirror with his guitar doing poses for like 3 hours.
What's the pose that's going to kill him tonight? The gun?
Do the quick look back.
Blue steel.
Yes.
And it's like I just burned my like brain out. So it's like I woke up today, and this is how it is. Like after every fucking show I do, you know, whether I'm singing it or playing it, I'll just wake up and I'm like, I can't function today. I talked to Nikki while she was at work, and I'm like, yeah, I woke up.
My legs don't work.
Well, I told her, I'm like,
you're just sitting in bed beating your fucking eyes.
It's shit. Like I told her, like I woke up, I was tired, but I couldn't go back to sleep. But I was hungry, but I didn't want to eat, kind of thing. And it's like I want to get up, but I don't want to get out of bed.
Fuck.
And it's like I want to watch TV, but I don't want to watch anything that's on TV. You know, just kind of shit like that. And so it's like I woke up at like 10 o'clock this morning, and I was literally just standing in my living room like, what the fuck am I going to do? I have no idea. Because my daughter was at my mom's last night, and Nikki worked the early shift today. Mm-hmm. So it's like I'm just standing there in my pajamas like, what am I going to fucking do today? I don't. It's
Go
like,
out to your driveway, drink your tea, and slap the hood of your car. They don't make them like they used to.
And it was like I knew I had to do show prep, but I didn't want to do show prep. You know, I didn't. I know I need to go downstairs, but I don't want to go downstairs. You know, I should mow the lawn, but I don't want to get the lawnmower out. You know, kind of shit like that. And it's just like I was standing there for probably about 15 minutes until I figured out, like, I think I'm just going to lay on the floor. So I laid on the floor for a little bit next to, you know.
See, that sounds like something a hungover person does.
But I wasn't hungover. I felt fine.
Okay.
You know,
maybe your brain was like, oh, maybe I should do the hungover thing.
My brain might have been, but I felt completely fine. You know, I didn't feel like I was throwing up. I didn't have a headache or anything like that. My legs were sore. My back was sore. My brain was just dead. It was completely just dead. And like I couldn't.
Maybe it's just so used to like shutting itself off for like drunk coma Rikki. Oh shit! I forgot to set my alarm.
It was the most bonkers thing. So finally, probably about 3 or 4 o'clock, I'm like, time to make some life decisions. So
see, what's crazy for me is like even if I'll wake up at like 10 or fucking noon or even 2 in the afternoon, I just feel completely fucking blah.
Yeah.
Then like 8 o'clock rolls around. I'm like, oh, the day is young. I'm starting to feel pretty good. Then like 2 in the morning, I'm like, I'm ready to conquer the world. And nothing is open. Yeah. There's nothing to do. I'm like, I'll play Nintendo Switch or like watch YouTube. That's my existence now.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so I guess we can get into our Pump It or Dump It Band of the Week this week. Get into that. In the 8 o'clock hour, we'll be talking to Noah Polston from Cyadine. We're going to be playing some Absolute Anarchy, because I only got one track from him for Cyadine. So we're going to play some Absolute Anarchy after the interview. Cyadine, their new single, Basic Instinct, Primal Instinct. See, told you.
Killer Instinct. Did you see what the fucking subtitles keep doing? Or the closed captioning? Fucking subtitles.
Jesus Christ.
We're not a Japanese flick.
So yeah, we're going to get into our Pump It or Dump It Band of the Week. If you guys have anything you want us to talk about in the chat, or if you have any questions for Noah, throw them in the chat. We'll get to them. And so yeah, we're going to get to our... Okay.
Uh-oh.
Brain stopped working. Because I was like, man, I just said we're going to get to the Pump It or Dump It Band of the Week like 4 times in a row.
I'm your host, Michael Scott.
All right, so this week's Pump It or Dump It Band of the Week is Nahaya. Nahaya. Nahaya.
Nahaya.
Nahaya?
Sure.
Nahaya out of San Antonio, Texas. They have a new album out called Vital Alchemy. It was released on the 21st, so about a week and a half ago on Rock Shot Records. We're going to be playing their music video for their new their single. Reading. Incubator. You can find these guys Facebook.com/ I picked a wonderful band name for this. This is great. Nahaya Official.
You didn't think to reach out to him and be like, hey, how do I pronounce your band's name?
No, I figured it's 6 letters. It can't be that hard until I was reading. I'm like, oh, it's pretty easy. I was like saying Nahaya or something like that, but then I look at it, I'm like, it's not Nahaya. There's no.
Can you take me higher?
So yeah, we're gonna watch their music video for their single Incubator. Last week, Pump It or Dump Band of the Week was Casting Shadows out of Plainfield. So fucking
Those
weird.
guys rock.
Casting Shadows out of Plainfield, Connecticut, and their song Shattered View. It got 60 votes for Pump It. So yeah, I'm going to be reaching out to Casting Shadows, see if they want to do a nice little interview here. And
I hear your band might want to open up for him.
Shadows Across America. That'd be a perfect tour name, Shadows Across America.
You guys are just like dual headliners.
Yeah.
Played both stages at the same time.
So yeah, we're going to get to Nahaya right here. Hopefully that's how you say it, because that's how I'm going to roll it. And their music video for Incubator right now. Head on over to Facebook.com/Roxx100. Look for the image, give it the big thumbs up or the meh if you don't like it.
That's how Ricky's feeling.
That's how my brain's working. I feel fine. My brain feels it's just working like
right on.
Fucking hate it. All right, so here it is. We'll be right back with Beer of the Week after this, episode number 105 of The Rikki Roxx Show, Roxx100.com.
Say
right. There's that.
That was good.
Nahaya out of San Antonio, Texas. And their song Incubator. I was hoping Steve Dave was going to be here because he's a Texas boy. I'm like, dude, a Texas band for you to go check out.
Yeah, it was
no
weird.
Steve Dave.
The singer really reminded me of Lane Staley.
Yeah.
At the beginning, and I was like, oh, okay, kind of Allison Chainsy.
Yeah.
And then it starts getting brutal metal. I'm like, all right, yeah, this is fucking dope.
Yeah. So you dig it, huh?
Yeah, no, it's good stuff.
Wow. Because for those of you, you obviously can't hear during break, but Kevin goes ahead and has a cigarette real quick, and he never usually comes down here like right off the bat and be like, dude, band's kind of cool. I love these guys. These guys are on, kind of thing. But this band, he was like, band's pretty dope, bro. Usually it's like, I have to be like, Kevin, what do you think? No, they're okay. They're pretty good. But this one's like, bruh, these guys, you were like straight up broing almost. Bro, these guys are dope, bruh.
I don't know. It was different.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was good stuff.
So there it is. Kevin's going to give it a thumbs up. He's not going to go on this one.
We're going to make a trip down to San Antonio. Go get some big ass steaks, go to Buc-ee's, fill up our gas tanks,
What's Buc-ee's?
You never heard of Buc-ee's?
No.
They have like 1,000 pumps. It's like the Walmart of gas stations.
The Walmart of gas
stations? No, like
stations.
Legitimately, they have like 100 fucking pumps.
Jesus Christ.
Everything in Texas is bigger, man.
Wow, I like that little, bigger in Texas, man.
Yeah, it's just one of those things they have down there.
Yeah.
And actually, they were like one of the first like businesses to be like, oh, we're going to pay people like $15 an hour. So people looked at them like, oh,
Oh, so even paychecks are bigger in Texas. Maybe
there you go.
Maybe I moved down to Texas. Jesus.
So,
the women are bigger too.
You know what I was thinking when I was outside smoking and watching the video on here?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, our show like literally is like Beavis and Butthead, except not nearly as funny. And we're not sitting on a couch.
See, I was thinking about doing that at some point, trying to find like, obvious, like, but I don't want to like shit on people. Maybe we could do it with like national bands that are not, like how Beavis and Butthead be like, dude, guy looks like a chode. Kind of shit like that.
Yeah. So I mean, we could, but
don't want to do it like because I don't want to shit on independent bands or something like that. But I'm like, what the fuck can we play where we could do the Beavis and Butthead segment?
Well, you got Puddle of Mud. I mean, I'm sure.
Well, I don't want to shit on them because Casting Shadows plays shows with them. I don't want to dump on Wes Scantlin, and his band of Hired Guns, So it's like I'd have to shoot for like. Like Nickelback or something like that, or like, I don't know. I'd love to fucking do it. If you guys in the chat are like, dude, maybe that could be a thing. I just ask people, hey,
who should I shit on this week?
Who should we just shit on, like Beavis and Butthead style? Play the video and just kind of talk and make fun of it over the entire thing.
I mean, we could look at basically any 2000s metalcore band and shit on their videos.
Jeez, so like,
because it's like crabcore, emo, comb over haircut.
Oh Jesus! So it'd be like
Hot Topic,
like Evanescence or My Chemical Romance or
man, who's the one band I'm thinking of? Like early A Day to Remember. Like their videos were so poor.
Yeah,
but they're like musically they're actually pretty good. I don't know.
Who did that song Miss Murder?
Miss Murder.
AFI.
Ah.
Yeah, we make fun of some AFI. Those guys looked like almost even back then. Like legitimately, I'm like, dude, I know they fuck each other. They have to be fucking each other. That guitar player looks like a bottom.
Oh my Lord.
So Larry Smith from Fallen Stronger chimed in. Jeff Land was there for a minute. Yeah, like I said, the Fallen Stronger show was fucking awesome. The one issue I have with it though is with my Casting Shadows boys who ghosted me and just fucking left without saying bye or anything like that. So I'm like buying shots for people. I'm like, where's my boys? Where's my band? Oh, dude, they left like 20 minutes ago. I'm like, motherfuckers.
They had to get the bus, all packed back up.
Well, I guess Jeff hit me up. He's like, bro, I was so fucked up. I had to have my buddy drive my truck home. I was not in a good way. And it's like, Chad was like, dude, I'm hungover as shit today. So The only person we haven't heard from yet is Don. I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't drink a lot though. He usually just off somewhere.
He's just off somewhere.
He's just off somewhere. I'll run across Don and be like, Don, I'll be right back. A minute later, where's Don?
He's on the roof flying a drone. Just like some random shit.
So, super cool show. Congratulations on the new album. So I guess we're going to do this.
Ricky's favorite segment.
Not anymore, man. I don't look forward to it anymore.
Sobriety killed it.
I don't, because it's, I guess it'd be one thing if I didn't do anything all weekend and, if I carried the sobriety thing, and not like drank during the week or anything like that and just saved my whole load for Sunday and beer of the week, maybe I'd be a little bit more excited for it. But it's like, now I'm just kind of like, ugh, thank God I don't have to work tomorrow.
Man,
it's weird.
Sobriety's sucking all the swagger out of Ricky Roxx.
I know, Ricky, you're no fun anymore. I like drunk Ricky.
Everybody liked drunk Ricky till they have to deal with drunk Ricky. When you're the innocent bystander.
Oh, this is not gonna
be fun. Cue the music, maestro.
All right, so we're gonna see how this segment goes. It's the first one.
That's a dark one.
It's the first one in a long time. Here it is.
Beer of the week.
All right, this week's beer of the week is from Roxx Brewing Company out of Royal Oak, Michigan, and their bourbon barrel-aged raw power.
Shit's like fucking molasses, yo.
No, I'm not looking forward to this at all.
Ooh, Ricky.
I can smell it. Here's the can for you.
It's a red.
This is 11.5% ABV, 31 IBUs. This is a Russian Imperial Stout. If you don't know what a Russian Imperial Stout is, I got the definition here right here for you. A Russian Imperial Stout, first brewed in England for Emperor Peter the Great of Russia, are higher in alcohol than traditional English stouts. Best examples are full-bodied, rich, and complex, and will often have flavors and aromas of dried fruit, coffee, and dark chocolate. Often dry, flavors are of higher alcohol is quite evident. Hop carry can vary from none to balanced or aggressive. This is, like I said, 31 IBUs, 11.5 ABV. BeerAdvocate.com gave this a 9.2 out of 10, rating it an outstanding beer. This is an Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels for 18 months. That is a year and a half for you people that
don't calendar well.
Done with months. Nikki's 9 months pregnant. I'm done with months. So a year and a half in bourbon barrels. Kevin Raslog, what are you thinking?
Pretty good. This is one of those beers that typically is not going to be my cup of tea, just based off of the description. I don't know, the bourbon barrels tend to be, really, really strong, at least the ones we've had. This one flies under the radar. The description of it kind of is like really spot on, but it's actually pretty damn good.
Scale 1 to 10, what are you thinking?
I'll do a solid 9.
Oh, solid 9 out of Kevin Raslog.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still think I'm kind of getting used to it, but no, it's pretty solid. I don't know how many of these I would drink, but wow, Ricky, it's like we swapped. Now you're making the bitter beer face I used to make back when I was a young grasshopper.
Okay. Time to get back into it. Beer of the week mode. I gotta get my snobby millennial beer knowledge out again.
Get your monocle and top hat out.
Yeah. This one, the head on it is it's like a brown head. Nice and plump brown head.
I'll open your mouth bits.
It's on you, Don Caldwell. Big brown head.
Excellent mouthfeel.
That big brown head has an excellent mouthfeel. Nice and creamy.
Oh my God.
Moist, not very dry.
It explodes.
On this explodes in the mouthfeel. And this one I kind of get more of the chocolate taste than a coffee one, although I kind of do.
That's probably why I like it, because I like chocolate more than. coffee.
Although I do kind of get a little bit. I almost smell like cherry, like a chocolate covered cherry kind of smell. And taste. I don't know if we can do
sobriety has ruined you.
Yeah, no, this is like the first craft beer I've had in like a month. You know, I haven't had a craft beer in a fucking month. It's been like pop and like I think this is probably
This doesn't taste like RC Cola.
No, this is probably the second beer I've had in the last month. I had one beer yesterday, and that was like Budweiser. So like craft beer,
is a big step up.
This is like the first craft beer I've had in a month.
It's like going from a Dale Earnhardt to a Ferrari.
Yeah, it's very thick. You kind of do get that kind of filmy, kind of chewy, kind of. You know what I'm saying? It.
Like when you're in the parking lot after
thick.
it rains and you see the oil.
Yeah, it's like it's thick, like you said when you were pouring. It's like molasses. It's very thick, very dark, and you know, I feel like it has a cherry taste in there. But the alcohol hit, like at least for me, like, fuck, man, I don't know.
I've never seen you this perplexed.
I'm gonna go 7.5 on it.
Wow.
There's something about it I'm just not rocking with it. Maybe I'm not really into the thick thing anymore. The thick, dark, full-bodied, creamy mouthfeel beers. So yeah,
so you're more so about that Bush NA, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go. There's just something about it where it's, you know, it tastes thick, but then when you get that alcohol hit, it just kind of hits me wrong, and
It's a shower, not a grower.
Yeah, there's just it's not one of the, you know, a lot of the stouts I have, you know, that I like are the ones that don't taste alcoholic. You know, it tastes so good that it's like, wow, this will, you know, the alcohol will.
There's hardly any booze in here.
You know, it's the ones that's like, man, this will sneak up on you kind of thing. Those are the kind of stouts that I like, you know, where it's like.
You risk blacking out.
Yeah, you'll
that's why Rikki likes
it. You'll have.
I wonder how many of these until I'm blackout, Rikki.
Well, it's like you'll have one and be like, oh man, you know, I could probably drink the rest of these, and you know, it just kind of sneaks up on you, kind of thing. This you can taste it right from the get go that this is very high octane stuff. So
you're more like the chloroform of beers kind of guy. You want to wake up and go, what the fuck happened last night?
Yeah, pretty much. Wow, our listener numbers died.
That's what sober Rikki has to show.
Beer of the week's done.
Beer of the work.
Beer of the work. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. You know, like I said, 7.5. Raz gave this a 9. I'd probably have one of these and be one and done.
No, I mean, I would only have one, but it's actually good. I feel like I would have to have this in a selective like mooder setting though, but it is good.
It almost feels like you're taking a shot when you drink it. You know, that's how that alcohol kind of hits you when you're doing like a shot of Jack Daniels or something like that. Where that's what that face, because I do that face whenever I do shots. I was
thinking more Jaeger.
Like, yeah, or something like you're just kind of like. So yeah, definitely not a fan of this one. So there's beer. I don't even know if I'm gonna fucking drink this.
Wow, look at Rikki.
Let's put that over there.
At one point, you would consider that alcohol abuse.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even going to finish that?
You want to take these home with you? I don't know how much I fucking spent on it because I bought them like a month
That
and
might be a good
but
bed beer at around 5:30 in the morning.
Knock me out. In the morning. So yeah, that's beer of the week. We're gonna take a break and play some Cyadine, and then I have to call Noah Polston. So we'll be talking to him, and so we're gonna do that. So we're gonna play Cyadine, their First single off their new album. They just put out about a month or so ago. Young guy. We're going to be talking to him. This is Primal Instinct by Cyadine. We're going to be talking to Noah Polston next, right here on the Rikki Roxx Show. Episode number 105, right here on Roxx100.com. There it is. Cyadine.
Good stuff.
Primal Instinct. What do you think?
Once again, it kind of gave me kind of like a 90s like rock vibe kind of.
I was kind of getting like earlier Metallica.
So I was getting that at the beginning during like the instrumental part.
Yeah.
And then when the vocals kicked in, I don't know, it kind of reminded me like Soundgarden-y, like a little bit. It was really good though, like not in a bad way. I always like bands where you kind of get that like, I don't know, it something triggers and you're like, oh, that reminds me of this from like way back in the day.
Right.
But it was really good. I liked it.
All right, so we're going to try making this call. It's very rare that I have to do a call out. We'll see how it goes. We're going to try calling out Noah Polston, lead guitar for Cyadine right now.
Hello?
Noah.
What's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, brother? We got Noah Polston from Cyadine on the big show here. What's been going on, bro? You just you had your CD release not too long ago. How was it?
It was really good, almost way better than we expected, just because of COVID and everything. So, but the turnout was great, and we surprised ourselves that we can do a show like that and hold our own with everybody. So yeah, it went really well. Sold all of our CDs and stuff, so yeah.
Oh, you sold all your CDs?
Yeah.
Gee, must be fucking nice.
Ricky's never done that ever.
Jesus.
In the 35 bands he's been in over the last 20 years.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, Ricky.
So, okay, we got to put, how many CDs did you get printed up? What was your first run?
It honestly wasn't that much. I think it was about 50.
Okay. Because
I probably should have said that. Doesn't make it sound as cool.
Yeah, because I've always had that big problem being like, dude, this album's awesome. People are gonna go nuts for it and buy it, and then my dumbass spends like $1,000 and gets like 300 of
He's
those
got
suckers.
CDs to the gills.
Oh yeah,
get
I don't think we'll be able to sell that many.
Yeah, get 300 of those suckers printed up, and then your CD release.
Hey, you didn't make the mistake I did. I went 1,000.
Yeah, so it's like.
God.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're still giving them away till this day. And that came out in like 2015 or 16.
Yeah, and it's like, so multiply all those bands I've been in, and every single one of those bands have CDs left over, and your boy Rikki Roxx was in charge of all the merch, so I have 23 bands worth of CD, that all these albums I thought were going to be kick-ass and people were going to go crazy for. Nobody.
If you ever see an episode of Storage Wars in the Chesterfield area, there's a very, very good chance one of them is just full of Ricky's band CDs.
Oh man,
all right, yeah,
it's freaking nuts. So take us through that CD release, because you had. You guys put a lot more effort into the stage show with this one. You had, not the normal stage lights. You had your own lights brought in. Yeah. You kind of took it up a notch. So take us through, the production of the whole thing.
Yeah, I gotta give credit where credit is due. That wasn't our lights. That was a friend of ours named Jason Niku. I'm sure that you know him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Name sounds familiar. He had all those lights, and he was kind enough to let us borrow them, and he did lights for us. And I actually used his Mesa Boogies on stage too. So shout out to him for doing that for us. So yeah, we just asked him, and he was kind enough to let us use them. So yeah.
So
and then Mike was kind enough to let us in the night before, and set up and tear down afterwards and stuff.
So with the lights, I'm just kind of curious. Did he kind of like cater the light show to like your guys' set, or was it kind of just he went along with it and tried to like accentuate your guys' live show?
It was a little bit of both, mainly because I got on the set list a little bit late, so he didn't have as much time as he would have liked to go through the songs. And I mean, because when he did this, it wasn't just like he was just going to throw up lights and then do whatever. I mean, he listened to our songs, and he came up with cues and stuff for it. And he knew some of our songs beforehand, because remember the album or the EP actually came out in September of 2020, and the release was supposed to be in November, but it got pushed back because of COVID and everything. But he knew known a little bit of the songs too, so he did some cues and whatnot. But he really made it look great, and really appreciated it.
That's awesome.
And another, something else that I find really kind of cool about you in particular, and kind of jealous of it, is you're a phenomenal guitar player, and you've gotten the attention of a lot of big nationally known guys through your Instagram and all this for a guy who's you're probably 17 when all this is happening. What was one of them, like Cyadine or something like that, or
Scotty Hill from Skid Row.
Oh, there it is. Skid Row.
I wish Scotty, and I love Scotty. And
but how, what's that like for, a 17-year-old and getting the kind of recognition from a band that sold millions and millions and millions of records?
I mean, we're pushing 40 and we've never had that happen.
Yeah, so what goes through your head when you see, you open up your Instagram the next morning and you see Whoa.
Scotty Hill.
You didn't get left on red either.
It was,
No.
the like and the comments and all this and the I don't know what they call them, reposts or shares or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
What kind of goes through your head at that point? Are you kind of like blown away, or is it kind of like, okay, well, it's social media kind of thing? What kind of goes through your head?
It's very humbling, and it's really a cool feeling. But again, I got to give credit where credit is due. There's a guy named Robert Surgott who's used to manage Elsie Banks, and he does Sterling Fest and stuff like that. He's a good friend of mine. He sent it to his friend. The solo that Scotty Hill commented on was "I Remember You." He sent it to his friend Sean Thornton. I hope I'm not butchering his name, but who knew Scotty from somewhere, and he sent it to Scotty. So that's how Scotty saw it. But I mean, still, even with that, it's stuff with that happening, and then Jackson reposting my pictures, and I mean, I've sent Charlie Benante from Anthrax my stuff, and he's responded. So it's really cool. I think the reason it hasn't happened to people, how do I say this in your age group? I don't mean to be a dick.
Wow.
Well, you said it yourself, bro. I didn't say you're old.
I sound like a boomer now. How can I put this across to the boomer?
Well, you said it like you've been around for.
I've been around.
I think a lot of social media has a lot to do with it because I've been grinding on it for so long, and I have a little more insight of it because people, like my peers, know how to work it really well because it came out when they were just getting phones and stuff. So,
dude, we're not that fucking old. Come on, man. You think we grew up on rotary phones? Oh shit, that's fucking great.
You know what I meant. I didn't mean to call you guys old. You're not old. You really aren't. I just meant like from Instagram coming out, in the past 10 or 15 years, whatever. It's just I've been on it for a long ass time and just doing it as much as I can because that's all I know.
Oh man, geez. You're good. Trust me. We're just laughing our asses off at ourselves.
Oh, I mean, I
feel bad.
To be completely honest, when I started playing in bands, Noah wasn't born yet.
Right.
He wasn't even a glimmer in his parents' eye when I started playing, 23 years ago.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, I guess I am kind of old.
Well, see, so here's the interesting thing. Like, I agree with a decent amount of what he's saying. On the flip side of it, there are a lot of like bigger musicians that don't actively like admin their Twitter and Instagram and shit.
That's very true.
And for instance, when we landed the Matt Greiner interview from August Burns Red, I had hit up tons of different bigger bands, never got a response. So when he responded, and the fact that I could tell it was him, I was like, oh my God, this is fucking sweet.
So bands like Metallica probably have a bunch of 17, 18-year-old kids running their social media.
Yeah, because the boomers don't know what they're fucking doing. But it's totally cool, though, and it's not to take anything away from you having someone through the grapevine shows it to this person, and then that person reached out to you, which is super fucking cool. And I mean...
Right, they didn't have to do that for sure.
Right. No, that's super badass.
So,
Overkill follows Cyadine and Overkill follows me, but that's because I knew their light guy, Big E.
Yeah.
And,
networking.
I know it's not Overkill on there, so...
And another thing, that I was kind of interested in because I'm an old boomer. When I started playing, I started playing when I was in middle school, and at the time, rock music was kind of big shit. Green Day.
He had to walk to school uphill both ways in 20 feet of snow.
When I started playing, Green Day had just gotten popular for the first time. And I was playing in punk bands and shit like that, and rock music was big. It was a big thing when I was in, middle school and high school. Limp Bizkit was big when I was...
Gas was under $1.
When I was in high school, Limp Bizkit was really big, and, Papa Roach and all that when they blew up. Now, rock music isn't a big thing. Like, I watched the Billboard Music Awards. What a fucking travesty that is. So being in, that younger demo, in school, because you just graduated from high school.
Right.
Were people kind of like, how do I want to put it? Are people were your classmates like, dude, you're a phenomenal guitar player, rock band? Are kids they went to school with into the kind of stuff you play? Like, were the girls swooning like, oh my God, this guy's a phenomenal lead guitar player?
See, I picture them going oodling for the SoundCloud rappers.
Or is it like one of those things like, oh, Noah's like that band dork who plays guitar and he's just kind of like the band dork dude?
Things. It was weird because when I started, I've been wanting to do the rock thing and the music thing since I can remember. So when I was first going to school, like no one really took it seriously or understood it because first of all, we were all super young. And then as time went on, kids would be like, oh yeah, Noah's in a rock band. Oh yeah, Noah's doing this. And then, I see these people in high school and they're like, hey, you said you wanted to do that when we were like in second grade and you still want to do it? Like, oh, he wasn't joking. So there's guys like that have respect for it. And then there's people that would have just thought I was a nerd a few years back, and then now that I'm getting more recognition, and they were trying to do like make beats and do SoundCloud rap and shit, and they're like, "Oh no, you should can you listen to this and promote it?" And I tell them straight up, I'm like, "Dude, this is cool and everything, but I don't like this kind of music, so I can't tell you if it's like good or not. So I don't know why you're asking me, but it's probably because they see, oh, Noah's the only musical guy they know, and there was a few kids here and there that would listen to the same music, but it was really rare. And towards the end of me being in high school, like these past few years, the whole alt Machine Gun Kelly type punk, the people that call themselves a rock but really aren't, that's getting really popular. And
posers.
There some alt and goth. Yeah, there you go. There's some alt and goth girls that really, would talk to me and stuff, but I mean, they still didn't really get it. Like if they'll be like, oh, you listen to Metallica? They'll be like, yeah. I'm like, I know you don't. But okay.
That one song, Ride the Lightning, was super good.
Right. It varies. There's a wide variety of it, but it got better at the end of people. There's definitely more of an appreciation of it now for for instance, The Dirt. I remember when that came out, everyone was like, I saw a surge of, kids wearing crew tees or just getting into more rock in general, which is good. I mean, I'm not going to say they can't wear it at all because they don't know the music. I mean, it's still promoted in either way, and it's coming back. That's for sure. That's the way I see it.
You're in school, and the lead guitar player for Skid Row is acknowledging your stuff. Are your friends at school like, dude, that's super cool, or are they kind of like, who the fuck is Skid Row?
I was gonna say I would picture kids in that age range going, who?
Yeah, what's
right.
What was that kind of like?
Well, this is going to sound really lame, but I really didn't have any close friends in high school. I mean, I don't because it was a few days ago. It was my last day, but I really didn't have anyone. I mean, I went to school with Dino Vario, who was in Absolute Anarchy with me, and he was like my guy. But there's no anybody else who would know me well enough to know that happened to A, or B, even know who Skid Row was. Like, it wasn't talked about. No one came up to me and said, "Hey, that's really cool," because I didn't really talk to anyone. I was always in my phone promoting my own shit or listening to music. Like, I didn't really want to talk to anybody else about it. But I mean, I would get some people who say, "Oh, I saw that guitar solo you posted on Instagram. That was pretty cool," but no one even knew that it happened. So
hey, word of advice coming from almost Boomer and Boomer sitting next to me. Honestly, you saved yourself a great deal of fucking headache because those people aren't worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, over the years, I know the people that are still buddies with their elementary, middle school, and high school friends. Those are the cliques that honestly don't mean fucking shit, and you want no part of anyways as a musician. So at the time, if I could go back in a time machine and tell my younger self, don't give a fuck about what any of the other people say because it don't matter. I wish I would have heeded that advice because literally none of it fucking matters. Do you, and who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I started doing that in middle school. I was kind of a preppy kid, and then I just kind of was like, this is going to sound cliche, but this doesn't feel like what I actually want to look like or people I want to hang out with. I kind of just subconsciously, without trying to, slowly shut myself off from all the popular kids. And it's funny because more and more at the end of my end of days of high school, kids who who were friends with me or were cool with me and then wouldn't talk to me as I became emo, as I like to call it, which I couldn't stand because I was anything but emo. Would be like, "Hey Noah, what's up, bro?" And I'd be like, "I haven't talked to you since 6th grade. Why are you talking to me?" Right. But I'd be nice, of course. But I'm just going through my head, you don't really want to be friends with me. You just see me doing well on social media and stuff, and think I can help you. Because I would have people ask me, "Can you share my shit?" And I would just be like, No.
That's when you got to be like, hey, bro, I can run your credit card on my phone.
See,
it's going to cost you.
That's that's a good lesson to have learned, at that kind of a young age.
I mean, I learned it at 28, 29.
Yeah, it's one of those things, because when I was in school, I was always trying to be friends with people so they'd come see my band and shit like that. And
there was no chance they'd go see my band anyways.
Yeah, well,
that's all of us, man.
So it's like that's a good lesson to have learned super early that you can actually take and use in the music industry where you're like, dude, I don't give two. You can spot the shitheads from a mile away now.
But the thing is, most of us are optimistic, opportunistic people, and it usually takes getting kicked in the junk over long periods of time, like Rikki and myself, to realize everyone's got their own angle. But just given the fact that, we typically haven't interviewed very many people that are, I guess, as young as you, I'm just genuinely curious because I'm a drummer. I know how expensive everything related with drums is. Do you think maybe the younger-ish generation might be less inclined to being into music due to costs? People will go spend $1,000 on a fucking iPhone, right? But for me, right, if I go to record, I gotta reskin my drum kit. There's a lot more into it than just going to the studio and dropping a single. It doesn't happen. And even people our age are,
us boomers.
Well, no, a lot of people just want the instant gratification, and any art form, you do not get that. So while they may say they're down to do it and this and that, most of the time they don't actually mean it. Can you kind of shed a little bit of light on that? Do you think maybe price and things like that might have killed some aspects of the art form, or do you think it just takes a certain kind of person?
It's weird because first of all, I think I have some of the most supportive parents on the planet. I mean, they've supported me since day one, and if I wanted to do anything else, they would have supported me. But I mean, money from your parents helps, of course, especially when you don't have a job. But I think the same goes for anything, sports kids, if they want to play hockey or lacrosse or soccer, you name it. There's a lot of money that goes into that too, buying the equipment and paying for travels and all that sort of stuff. If the kid wants to do it and the parents, are good parents, I think they would support them as much as they can. But then it's a double-edged sword because there's some kids who don't want to do it and their parents basically try to put perfume on a pig, and it's still a pig at the end of the day. So if the kid wants to do it and the parents are supportive enough, I don't think that'll stop a kid who wants to do it bad enough. And the price is no different than wanting to do sports pretty much.
And a question, I had, and this kind of, a couple weeks ago, we had somebody send us a question that was a parent, and they had a young son.
This is actually really good that you brought this up.
We had a question from a mom and had a young son. Her dad, or the dad, was a musician, so the mom kind of knew
sex, drugs, and rock
and roll thing, and
the cliches
and all that stuff. And I said, yeah, it's definitely there. When you decided that, hey, I want to be a guitar player, I want to play heavy metal, I want to play rock and roll, this is what I want to do. Did your parents ever sit you down and be like, look, there's
a reason why we go to church every Sunday.
There's a lot of, that extracurricular stuff that is out there and you can fall into if you get in with the wrong crowd kind of thing. Was there that discussion, between, you and your parents when you decided this is going to be my track in life?
There was no set discussion per se, but as I was growing up, there'd always be from your parents telling you not to drink, not to smoke, whatever, or just I'd seen things happen where hey, don't do that, and look at that guy, he's all fucked up, and he made a fool of himself, just what not to do, and letting people's examples, learning from that. But I mean, I've been playing in bars since I was 12, and my parents, they're always there, and anyone I would get involved with, they'd make sure they know them. And I never was that bad for me. I never really, until I was 16, 17, or 15. I never really had anybody try to offer me drugs or anything, but by the time they did start doing that, I had enough wits about me to say no, or, my mom's right there. You're really going to offer me that in front of my mom? Like, and if she wasn't there, I would have said no, but the audacity of some of these people to just do it right in front of my parents was just like, are you kidding me? But it was never that bad in general. So I don't think it should be a concern, again, as long as the parents are there and care enough to be there. I mean, it would be a different story if they were just dropping me off at bars or,
right,
letting me go to shows by myself, but they were there and supervising me up until the point where it's kind of like time to take training wheels off. I can handle myself. And then the people I'm around are really good people anyway. So I mean, either I just got lucky, or it seems like to me that, most people, everybody in the scene, as far as I know, is good and wouldn't do anything stupid like that. But I never had any problems with it.
When you hear someone say, I couldn't believe the audacity they had when my mom was right there, as a younger individual, that's pretty telling. And that's not to say like everyone's bad, every place is bad, and going into music's bad, but
that was a couple small instances, like nothing, it didn't happen all the time.
No, and I get that, but the fact that you were like, yeah, I was actually almost appalled, like, that kind of just shows like your,
there's a big maturity there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dude, fuck this guy. My mom's right there, and he was offering me like a doobie or so. Like most people.
A doobie.
Well, whatever
All
the
right,
case. He was offering me the marijuana. But it was just, like for me, right? If I was 15, 16 and some dude was like, hey, bro, like I got this, I'd be like, oh, shit. Okay, cool. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the fact that you were like, wow, like the audacity, my mom's right there. I mean, even if my mom was right there, I wouldn't reply with that. I'd be like, hey, give me 10 minutes. So, I mean, that speaks volumes to you. And I mean, that's obviously very great because when we originally had that nuts and bolts question, it was kind of difficult for Rikki and myself to hop in the time machine and go back and try and align ourselves with how different things are nowadays as compared to when we were growing up. So,
yeah, a lot has to do with my parents raised me that way. Just
I think
I don't want to say all drugs are bad or anything, but don't do drugs or whatever.
Right.
But like they raised me just to have respect for myself, and also you're not of age, so. Yada yada.
Well, that never stopped me. I think that's probably where I went wrong in life because it's like
age is just a number.
Age is just no. I'm not going to go.
No
down that
means
road.
yes.
Because it's like my dad was a drummer back in the '80s and shit like that, so he kind of had that discussion, but it wasn't like. I was raised around all that shit. So to me,
he had chrome drum skins.
So it's like I grew up around bikers and musicians. So there were drugs. I showed Kevin a picture once of little toddler Rikki.
I didn't believe you at all.
With a 40 of Mickey's, which is just for you a really shitty beer, and it's like I was just kind of grew up around it. And then when I started playing, my dad's like, you've been around this long enough, make your own damn decisions, and
right.
And he's, but at the same time, he'd be like, well, don't bash it till you try it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
See them hookers over there?
He's like, just be, if you're.
It never scared me. I was used to it because, going to family parties and people drink and smoke cigarettes or whatever, not a big deal. It was never a big deal. It just, I never felt the urge or was really excited to be like, hey, can I have one of your whatevers? You know what I mean?
So have you had that? Because I'm sure, yes, you're underage, but, when I was, back in the 90s, the early 2000s when
before the internet was a thing,
in the early 2000s when I was, a teenager, Noah's age back in 2001, I'd go play a show and I'd be 17, 18, 19, 20. And somebody would be like, hey, let's go back. I'll get you a beer kind of thing. I'd be like, oh, okay. Has there been that? Have you had that? I'm sure it's happened where somebody's like, hey, I'll get you a beer. I'll get you something. Have you ever had that temptation to give it a go yet? Or are you still just like, yo, no?
Obviously there's a little bit as I get older, but my mom's always at shows with me, and even if she's not there, it's just it's obviously illegal. So especially if I'm at a bar or someplace where they could lose their liquor license if a minor gets caught having a drink or something. So there's that to account. But I also really don't have that much of an urge to go through with it. It's just like, no. I mean, I'm going to watch this band that's going on, and I got to go on in about an hour, so I'm going to go warm up or whatever. It's never been a concern of mine. I'm always worried about something more important.
Strong-willed individual. Wow. So this is the new generation, huh?
I'm impressed.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know about my peers are like that. But.
Well, at the end of the day, like a lot of the stuff we're joking about, we made our mistakes, and we've made plenty of fuck ups over the years. We're still alive, but
barely.
It is impressive though to see a younger generation not making those snafus that we did.
Because it's like we see the stuff on TV, 17-year-old kid, dies of meth poisoning and bath salts and eating Tide Pods and all this stuff. It's like, my old boomer ass, I'm like, man, these kids these days are fucking retarded.
Well, and
who eats Tide Pods? Nobody would ever eat Tide Pod. Well, they didn't have Tide Pods when I was a kid, but nobody was eating laundry detergent trying to get high.
Well, and the crazy thing is, like, you guys have literally got Google at your disposal for absolutely everything. We got that a little bit later in life, so we couldn't just Google absolutely every fucking thing on the planet. But like, just like your maturity overall and, taking the art form serious, I could tell you, from years and years, I remember the one dude I was in a band in high school with, like, super religious guy, all the guys in the band really good, but I think we were 16, 17, and, we go to his place for practice. He's like, oh yeah, my dad's got this keg, so if you guys want any beers, help yourself. Me, I'm like, that's the door you shouldn't open. That's the thing my parents say no. So yeah, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? Like, when you're that young, most of the time when your parents say no, don't do that. Like, and I'm speaking broadly, of course. More than likely, if you get an opportunity, you're like, oh, well, that's the forbidden fruit. I'm going to try it.
Right.
So, for you to just be like, no, like, I'm good. Like, that's pretty impressive.
It's not like I'm hardcore against it, or if my friends do it, I'm not gonna berate them about it. It's just my parents never made it that much of a taboo. Like, I mean, of course they didn't want me to do it, and they told me that, but they were never like, if you touch this, we're gonna kill you. Like, that would make me want to try it even more, right? So
Right.
They were never like that. It's kind of just a neutral, like, no. I will say this: in the past year, me and the guys in Cyadine, we like literally tobacco pipes or like cigars and stuff, but that's all I screw with. I mean, Black and Milds and stuff like that, but I mean, not cigarettes or anything, but that's what I'm into, if anything, but that's more socially than anything. So that's about it for me.
So getting back to the music thing, we've had enough of trying to,
to break you.
Enough of that.
Trying to incriminate me in front of
we were talking, earlier about how, that rock music isn't what it used to be, where it's like all over the radio and the Billboard Music Awards, they don't even touch rock bands anymore. Was it hard for you, to put together, I'm assuming Absolute Anarchy was the first band you put together. Was it hard to find other guys that played, all the, bass and drums, in your age bracket that are into that same kind of music that isn't popular, that old classic kind of sound?
Boomer.
The boomer music, was it hard to put that together? I imagine that would be like insanely difficult to find people, that are 16, 15, 17 years old that play bass, play drums, that want to be in a band, that know how to play instruments and like the same music you do.
Yeah, it was especially harder when I was really young, because I've been wanting to do a band. I mean, I've always played music since as long as I can remember, but wanting to be a band has been a thing of mine since I was like, literally 8. And just, not knowing how to find people, or not really, not having a phone or anything when you're that age. And then when I got around, like, I think I was 9, 10, 11, a couple guys at school would come over and we jam and then play the talent show or whatnot. But, I mean, when I first put AA together, lucky enough, I was like, it's my 13th birthday when I met Gage Serta. He lived across the street at the time and saw each other and jammed. And then I met Thomas, the bass player, through a music competition I would go to called AGM. It stands for American Guild of Music. Kind of had him in the back pocket. We needed a bass player. I texted him. And then, like I said, I went to school with Dino Vario since like 5th grade. So very few and far between. But ever since AA started, I don't know how, but maybe it's just like one of those, what's that called? When stuff starts happening because you're like subconsciously, because you're not thinking about it, and then all of a sudden you think about it, so you start noticing a lot more. But I noticed a lot more bass players or drummers or guitar players in my age group in the area, on the internet. So that helped. But I mean, AA was my band, and then was in that for a while. But I joined Cyadine right around when AA started. So that was because that guy I was talking about earlier, Jason Niku, they moved in next to him, and he called me and was like, hey, these twin, because the Benny and Eddie are the twins in the band, these twin musicians moved in next to me, and they like metal, you should go jam with them. And then went to jam with them and joined Cyadine, and they found Shane at school. So it's just, it's a lot of getting lucky, and yeah, that's pretty much it, and just looking. But I definitely got lucky because of the way it kind of just fell into my lap, so to speak. So it is hard to answer your question.
And then, not too long ago, it was kind of big news that you quit Absolute Anarchy, and
yep.
you're going to put full 110% into Cyadine. What went into that decision? It's the first band, your buddies, and how do you have that conversation? Hey, I'm done with it.
Yeah. AA was my first band, and it was tough leaving those guys. I'm still close with them, and Gage is still one of my best friends. I mean, I grew up with that guy literally. So, but we had a bunch of great times and stuff. There was really no animosity between us, like personality wise. It was the old creative conflicts or musical whatevers. But we started out as more of a heavier thrash band, and then I kind of realized that I need to play to my bandmate's strengths, mainly Gage, because Gage is a phenomenal drummer. He's filling in for Wrecking Crew right now. He just does Motley Crue, that style of 80s rock. That's his thing.
Right.
So I started catering more to that, and it kind of grew into more and more, more glam, more 80s, more glam, more 80s. And I was just like, I love this stuff. I love listening to it. It's cool to play it sometimes, but just as far as trying to make it into a full-blown career of doing something that's not really 100% in my heart, that's why I left. That and between wanting thrash is more my thing, and being in two bands, trying to make two bands work at the same time is just, you guys know, it's seriously trying. You're never going to give 100% to either of the bands. It's always going to be 50-50 no matter how much you convince yourself they are giving all your time to both bands. It's just, I thought it would work for a while, but the more Cyadine got, started doing more, and AA started doing more, it's like, I got to pick one or the other. I'm at a crossroads here, and I can't make both of these work. So I chose Cyadine because that's what was in my heart. That sounded really stupid, but yeah.
No, you're like, a lot of that is very, very true. I think, for me, at least, being a drummer, I think at one point I was in 3 bands, 2 were like actively touring. For me, it was not a problem because, a lot of the writing, especially in metal, like I'm playing off of, the guitar players and this and that. But I think like vocalists and guitar players typically cannot do the multiple band thing. You have your exceptions like your Corey Taylors that can, write fucking 50 million songs every goddamn year. But what you're saying is 100% truth. It's very hard to dedicate 100% of your time, 100% of your riffs to 2 separate projects. Like, unless they
especially when they're both different genres, you know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. And, for you to identify that, that's a pretty mature decision to make. I'm kind of jealous. But, the fact that you identified that, that's kind of the way it is. It's really difficult to be in multiple bands, multiple projects, regardless of what genre they're in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely fun. We had great times, and we did some really cool shit. And the EP we put out, I'm still very proud of. It's just, Cyadine was what felt right for me. And guys like Corey Taylor and I'm drawing a blank, and other guys that are in millions of bands. Forget it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
those guys do it when they're already made it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
When you're on the rise, it's I think it's a different thing because you really gotta. I mean, once you get that your thing, like, and you crack the barrier.
Once you
make it,
establish yourself, it's
Yeah,
a
that's
lot
what I-
easier to diversify yourself.
Well, there are a few instances though of the musician that grinds hard to that level, whereas like the one band's not enough. Like Wolf, for instance, like he's in 30 goddamn bands. Like he's a fucking animal. He's more rare. He's not the Corey Taylor, but just the fact alone, like it is very difficult to be in multiple bands, whether you are a serious made musician or not. But the fact that you identified that, given your age and everything like that, just speaks volumes to your dedication to the craft, maturity, and all that. So kudos to you, man.
Definitely cool. Thank you for that. But it definitely could work for people. Just for me, the way it worked for me, it was much easier for me personally just to be in one band and put my time into that.
For sure.
And
that's just the way I write.
So when you quit AA or AA falls apart and you're singing, playing guitar in Cyadine, and then another move comes where you decide you're not going to sing anymore. You're going to go find a frontman for Cyadine so you can just be the axe shredding lead guitar player. Take us through that process of one, why you stopped singing, because I'll say it, you're a great singer. I've played in bands with a lot worse singers, and you did really well on it. What went into that decision to not be the double threat of frontman and lead guitar player?
It was kind of the way I started doing it is kind of the way Dave Mustaine was like my god for a long time, and I kind of stopped that. Not because of anything particular, just kind of like I'm going to be Noah now, not trying to be Dave. So that had a lot to do with it, but that's why I started, is because nobody else, we couldn't find a singer, and it was like, oh, fuck it, I'll sing. So I was doing that for a while, and it was okay. I think any doubts I had, I just automatically shut it down because I was like, no, you got to be like Dave. That's your guy. You got to which was stupid, but that went into it, and then everything was fine. I guess I didn't really too much thinking into it. And then I can't pinpoint exactly what it was, but all of a sudden, I don't know if it was more puberty or whatever, but my voice just started it didn't seem like puberty because I wasn't like losing range per se.
Mm-hmm.
I would hit the same notes, but they would just sound so distorted and like just terrible. Like my voice was just like giving out almost. I was doing a lot of screaming type stuff in Cyadine, and I'm sure that didn't help, but it just somewhere along the line, my voice was not doing what I wanted it to do. I even tried to find a singer for a while. I'm not sure if you remember that. Didn't really end up finding anyone. But that kind of led to me leaving AA too, because I was like, we can't find a singer. The songs we're writing need higher vocals, and I can't do it anymore. I'm more suited for Cyadine.
Mm-hmm.
So then I ended up leaving AA. Thought I'd stick it out as long as I could with Cyadine, and I thought, I'm screaming anyway with Cyadine. It's not like I'm actually trying to sing or anything. So did that for a while, and it just got worse and worse. And I'm like, guys, I got a couple vocal lessons. They started teaching me, hey, you're not singing from your diaphragm. You're just shouting.
Right.
So I would try doing that, and then it didn't feel the same. I wasn't getting the sound I wanted. I didn't have the patience, and I'm like, you know what? I'm a guitar player. I'm a guitar player by choice and a singer by force, I guess. So it was really never meant to be. We called our buddy from Catharsis, Aaron, and he's like, hey, I know you're in another band, but we really need a singer, and you're an awesome singer, so will you join us? And then here we are. So I'm actually really happy, though, because Aaron's a really good guy. So are the guys in Catharsis. He's an awesome singer. A lot of people say he sounds like me, but with like a much higher range, which is perfect. Because now I don't have to hold myself back when writing vocal lines and saying, oh, this will be really cool, but I can't sing that.
Right.
There's that. I can jam out on stage more without having to worry about, I might as well not headbang for this next section because then I got to breathe to sing this next part, and I can just focus on my guitar playing and not have to worry about there's a solo coming. I got to finish this line, stop my boost, go up here on the neck, and it just got too much at the end, really.
So are you still going to be doing vocals at all, or are you kind of just leaving that up to him?
No, I do a lot of backups, and we do harmonies. We sound really good when we harmonize together, so that's cool. And yeah, like backups, and that's pretty much it. I can still sing per se, but it's not not good enough to be a lead singer by any means.
Well, you mentioned doing the screaming, and I think most of us have succumbed to the our buddies and everything say it sounds good, and we do it improperly, and then eventually blow our voices out or whatever.
Right.
In your situation, like, do you still want to pursue maybe taking some lessons or at least learn how to properly utilize your voice? Because that's one thing over the years, us boomers will tell you, the longer you do it, the harder it is to repair. And when it comes to vocals, you generally can't necessarily repair once you fucking destroy it. I mean, there's some
Right.
limitations with it. Like a drummer, right? I can break my whole drum set, buy a new one. You can't buy a new voice.
Right, that's true. Sometimes I think about it, but it's honestly not in the cards right now because all I'm worried about right now is just doing what Cyadine's got going on, and that doesn't involve me singing. So I'm not worried about it right now. Maybe in the future, because I still like to sing sometimes just for fun, and it would be nice to, because I still do the screams in the songs because Aaron can't do them, and I don't want him to do them.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would do the same thing would happen to him would happen to me. But I mean, maybe at some point, I just don't really think about it because I'm more worried about just whatever else we got going on, which is him singing.
Fair enough.
So moving forward, you left AA, you wanted to put your 100% effort into Cyadine. Are you guys all done with school at this point? Are you all high school graduates? Are you all free of those chains and shackles?
Yeah, we are. The other guys at Cyadine they've graduated last year, and then Aaron's 21, so he graduated a few years ago.
Okay.
I mean, he goes to college, but everyone else has been done with school for about a year now, so I'm the baby.
So moving forward, obviously you want to press this, you want to go, you want this to be your life. What's in the cards next for you guys? Have you guys gotten, this is where Kevin starts talking about touring and all this. We always ask this, have you guys put those feelers out and spread your wings outside of Detroit and start going Ohio, Indiana, maybe go out for a week or two? Has this been talked about at all yet?
Yeah, we've thought about it and talked about it. They played an out-of-state show in Pittsburgh before I was in the band because we have connections at the Mad Viking Beard Company, and we know the owner and stuff. And so we would play it. We played at their ball before I was in the band, and then when I was in the band, one show in Pittsburgh. That's how I met Blasco from Ozzy.
Okay.
We're actually friends with him, which is really cool. We met him there. But other than that, we're not talking about it at this very moment because we're really focused on we're at Pearl Sound right now with Chuck O'Casey and Jason Hartless, and once we get this stuff finished, we're talking to Chuck about doing some promo shit and talking to some people. And the reason we're even at Pearl is because we were on a phone call with Tom Zutai, if you can believe that.
Wow.
Because
the guy who broke Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a music competition called No Cover. I don't know if you heard about that a few months ago, maybe a year ago now. It's like Alice Cooper's a judge, Izzy Hale from Hailstorm, and Toes of Ozzy. It's like American Idol, but for unsigned bands.
Oh, okay.
And we sent in an audition thing, and we did like the highest tier. And even if you don't make it, which we didn't, you get to have a Zoom call with Tom Zutat. So we did that, and I guess it was supposed to be like 15 minutes, but ours with him lasted for an hour and a half because he liked us, I guess, which was fucking awesome.
Wow.
So we talked to him, and he's like, go talk to Chuck at Pro Sound, and we're going to send our stuff to him. He wants to stay updated with us. So we're kind of just going with it and see what happens in the future with all that stuff going on. But I think when we finish with these songs we got going on at Pro right now, and stuff should start happening, hopefully. Because, I mean, Heartless has told me that he thinks this is going to be a pretty big deal when it comes out, so we're hoping that's what happens.
So you said you were talking to Tom Zutat for over an hour. I met him at the DMAs a couple times, when I used to actually go to that, and, talk to him, and he's seen it all. He's broken bands. When you're talking to him for an hour and some change, what are some of the big, I guess, nuggets of wisdom that he dropped on you guys that maybe some bands or some musicians out there could learn from?
Well, it wasn't really anything like big. Well, no, there's a couple things. I mean, 'cause a lot of it pertained to us specifically because we had to send them, our songs and some live videos and whatnot. But one of the things is he said we people like characters, rock stars.
Yeah.
Like, Slash, like he's a god. Randy Rhoads, people like that, Dimebag.
Ricky Roxx, yeah.
People, yeah, exactly. People like that stuff. So kind of trying to be bigger than life without being a dick. You know what I mean? Like being that guy, but still being down to earth at the same time, which he said to us is a hard balance. But that was one thing he said pertaining to us, which you can relate to anyone else, is he heard our music, and our first EP is really, more on the punky side of things or just straight up thrash. He was like, you can go that route and have your niche of thrash metal fans and, do like tours regionally and, pack clubs, in the US or whatever. Or you can kind of go a little more commercial or a little more, viable to the public, which we told him, and that made him very happy when we told him this, is that we're already kind of doing that, not for the purpose of like trying to be commercial, but just because our writing evolved. And I've never been as straight up, like even on our EP being as thrashy as it is, it's not like there's not no melody. There's melody on there and there's groove and stuff. So even more of that is in our new stuff. So we told him that, and he was like, yeah, that'll get you even further, and then you might be able to have more of an opportunity to get an even bigger audience. And what else? That and the ways to promote now, like releasing singles and promoting that for a long time, and then not putting out albums, right away anymore, and promoting it the right way, and not just. I mean, I made the mistake. 'Cause I'm the one who signed us up for CD Baby and stuff, and would just not even give the CD Baby like enough time to put everything on Spotify or iTunes. Just be like, okay, it's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everybody, it's out. It's not on YouTube. It's not on Spotify. It's not on iTunes because they didn't have enough time. So giving it enough time, submitting to curators and playlists, and really just accepting the fact that it's not, 20, 30 years ago now where the music industry isn't the same, and giving into the way it is done now. So, and we didn't really do that for our first EP or AAs, and now we know how to do that. It should be a different thing. But yeah, it was a lot of good advice from him.
Oh yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of nuggets in there.
I liked the like almost the character aspect. I mean, like people will say like, all these bands, but I mean like Avenged Sevenfold, fucking Slipknot, like newer bands do that, and it carries a certain level. Like most of us would think, oh, that's super dumb. Like it's super gimmicky, but like
I got that for years.
But when you're on that fucking stage at DT and there's like 60,000 people that are wearing your guys' fucking shirt, you know what I mean? Like it sounds so minute, but like at the end of the day, like if it works and it makes sense, like that's all you really need.
And I'm gonna do some schooling. When I started doing the Rikki Roxx thing, about 15 years ago, people thought it was stupid,
pretentious.
It was
ego driven.
It's gimmicky. It's lame. It's like, why does this guy go on stage wearing makeup? Why is he wearing nut huggers? Why is he wearing scarves? Why is he wearing all this dumb stuff?
Most of those people were probably artists, right?
Mostly, yeah. And it's like, for the same reasons you said, I'm like, dude, people don't want to stare at Jim D'Angelo wearing his Skechers and his khakis,
rolled up in a Corvette,
and staring at his shoes. People want a fucking character. They want somebody. When you go see him, it's not little Jimmy in his cargo shorts staring at his shoes. It doesn't matter how great you are, because we've all seen the YouTube guitar shredders. They're freaking phenomenal.
They want to be entertained.
But, they want to be entertained. When I started the Rikki Roxx thing, people thought it was stupid. Now people are like, dude, it wouldn't be the same if you didn't wear your dumb clown makeup and wear your douchey clothes.
Now we expect it.
Now it's expected, and people come and see that train wreck. So
people actually pay to see it.
Yeah, people actually pay to see it. So so that's a good tip. Kiss, Guns N' Roses. You have Axl, you have Slash. Kiss, you have fucking Kiss.
Right.
And
you don't even have to have a fake name. You could still be your regular name, and you can still be one of those guys.
Like Green Day, Trey Cool.
Yeah,
that ain't his real name.
Yeah, the legend of his name is Trey Cool. It's just a normal name.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy that like that little minute, tiny little thing could be like the catalyst for a band. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds so minor, so minute, but like eventually it could be like this big cult level thing, you know? It's just the fact that, you know, he instilled that on like a younger, greener-ish band. Like, most people wouldn't ever think to like go down that like rabbit hole of thinking.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that in itself is super fucking cool.
A lot of it has to do with being yourself. But that only works to a point, because like you said, little Jimmy in khaki shorts, that's what I feel comfortable in. That's fine, but like you said, no one really wants to see that. Lucky for me, I didn't really have to alter my appearance that much. I mean, I pretty much wear these. I mean, in AA was one thing, that's part of the reason I left, but with Cyadine, I pretty much wear what I think looks cool. You know, and that's what I would wear. What I wear on stage is what I wear, you know, on the streets. So it doesn't really, nothing really changes for me. I mean, maybe I might put on a couple extra bracelets or something, but
so you're pretty much ready to go.
Wearing t-shirts.
You could walk into Denny's and be like, "What the fuck's up, Denny's?" Oh,
jeez.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving forward, we're at 9:00. Kevin's getting saucy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, so moving forward into 2021, things are starting to open back up again. You know, you mentioned you're working at Pearl Sound, probably the premier, I guess, recording spot in.
I would say so.
And it doesn't even look like a recording spot when you drive by.
It's probably
no, you would never know.
It's incognito as fuck, which is super cool.
You know, it's probably one of the top recording studios in the country. Probably easily in the top 20, probably the top 10
on the inside too.
So you're doing this. You're gonna get a phenomenal product out of it. You know, because they're not going to put something out that sounds like garbage. You know, so you're getting this. You know, you've learned all these awesome lessons Tom Zoo taught, and you've been around the block. You know, what's next for you guys? You know, upcoming shows. You know, what do people have to look forward to? You know, the rest of this year going into 2022.
Definitely some new music. I'm definitely it'll come out at some point in 2020, I'm sure. But besides that, I'm sure we'll book some more shows for the summer as we get closer to it. But right now we've got we're doing this thing up in West Branch called Camp Champ. That's really cool. This is our third year doing that. I think that's July 18th. I could be wrong, but it's like the way I describe it is like a microscopic Woodstock.
Okay.
It's like, you know, Bob Champ is this guy's name. That's why it's called Camp Champ. He's got this area in the woods, and he just has a bunch of bands come out, and everybody camps out and bonfires and stuff, and it's just really cool. So we're doing that. Howie Harula, you guys know. He's doing his festival up in Marlette on the Bacchus Social Club grounds.
Yeah,
that's there. And August 14th, we're going to be playing. We're going to be selling tickets for that soon. And other than that, I think that's everything right now. But it's really because everybody's still kind of in shock mode right now that everything's opening up, and you know, still booking shows right now, kind of scrambling to be like, oh shit, the summer's open, and not a lot of shows are booked yet. So I think I'm just waiting for that to come. But other than that, new music and more content from us on social media, like the Cyadine Sundays and shit. But yeah, we're just gonna keep rolling and chugging along.
Hell yeah,
dude! There it is. All right, so now you got anything else you want to throw out there to people that will probably be watching this tomorrow? Anything you want to throw out there?
Some stuff about me. I'm filling in for Guitarist, the band that our singer's also in. Their guitar player left, so I'm filling in for their show June 19th at the Diesel. That'll be fun. I love those guys, and the music's great. June 12th, I'm doing a benefit at the Diesel for Robert LaFon Jr., who is a friend of mine, and playing some songs with the bands that'll be playing that night. Follow me on Instagram and stuff. That's where, if you want to know anything about me, that's where I post most of it, in my Facebook page and stuff, and more YouTube videos, hopefully, where I do covers and playthroughs of my own songs and whatnot. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I think.
Hell yeah, man. Well, do us a favor, when you got new tunes and all that, feel free to hit us up. If you need any help with any,
one of the first people.
If you need any help with booking and stuff, don't hesitate to reach out.
Kevin Raslog sites.
I may be a boomer, but I have a little bit of knowledge in this melon of mine.
I don't know. I got you.
All right, Noah. We'll talk to you soon, and keep going. You know, you're very mature for your age. I'm still hoping to one day get to that maturity level myself.
Rikki and I are gonna hop in a fucking time machine and try and gain some youth after this one.
Yeah. So stay in touch.
Thank you so much for having me on, bro.
Yeah, dude. Any time, bro. And I'll see you sooner rather than later, bro. Take it easy.
All right. Yep. Bye.
Bye. All right. That was Noah Polston from Cyadine. So.
Way to make you feel old, huh?
I know, right off the bat.
It was a really good interview, though. Right
off the bat. Well, I know you guys are old in social media, but I'm like, oh, okay,
I was like, motherfucker, do you think we use Netscape Navigator still?
So, I know Kevin right now is the only one watching live. We're gonna get into this train wreck after. I'm gonna play some Absolute Anarchy.
Why don't we do 2 songs?
Okay, so
I can have a smoke just because of this debacle and take a piss real quick.
Okay, so we're going to play some Absolute Anarchy at the Wayback Machine. This song was one of the top hitters when I was doing the top 5. So we're going to play that, hopefully. And
Sony's going to copyright us again.
We'll get into this. So we'll be right back. Episode number 105 of the Rikki Roxx Show, Roxx100.com.
Oh, I was going to say it. You beat me to it.
Make me contemplating where to lead my life. I don't know what to show, thinking that I'm gonna lose control. The darkened room starts to consume, ripping further away from the light. I don't want to be alone. I can't take it, killing me, ripping me, tear me apart. You can't trust what you can't see. Keep on pushing and make an enemy. You can't trust what you can't see. Keep on pushing and make an enemy out of me. Seeing through life's shattered view, a compilation of everyone's regret. Breaking down, bury me now, digging 6 feet under to the ground. Now I see enemy in me, taking every single part of me. I don't want to be alone. I can't take it, killing me, ripping me, tear me apart. You can't trust what you can't see. Keep on pushing and make an enemy. You can't trust what you can't see. Keep on pushing and make an enemy out of me. Make an enemy out of me.
All right. I cut that shit off. Okay. Ricky's rants is about to happen right now.
Oh, snap.
One, I'm super pissed. And this platform that I'm streaming on right now can turn around and go, fuck it, Zuckerberg ass. I'm so fucking livid over this because I know nobody's listening right now. And hopefully the dispute, because Kevin's showing me during this interview, hey, this video has been blocked in 249 countries because there was something, I don't know what the hell I played, that there's 49 seconds of that Sony threw a dispute at it.
Sony copyrighted our fucking commercials or some shit.
You know what it might be.
Chris.
Get the fuck out of here.
Because that's the only thing I can think of that I played for maybe half a
Everyone
minute.
was tuning in too.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of that I've played that, because it said on the thing 49 seconds of something and Sony decided to flag it.
That wasn't even 49 seconds
But that's the only thing I can think of, unless it's the beer of the week backing thing. But I think, this is about when it cut. But this is copyright free.
That's so bizarre.
It's copyright free music because I made sure that all my backing tracks are copyright free.
Right.
So Sony, shut the fuck up. It's copyright free. It's on YouTube, and literally it said copyright free backing, like Twitch music.
Right.
Because that's where I get all my shit, is stuff that people use on Twitch.
Yeah, all the big streamers.
So
they get monetized.
And there's artists out there that make copyright free shit that you can play on Twitch streams. That's where I got all this. Either it's that Beer of the Week backing track, but I played that for a couple minutes. The only other thing that I played for 49 seconds was maybe that Chris thing that I played for maybe 10 seconds. So when you showed me that, I'm thinking, what the hell did I play?
Right. Well, it was interesting because we mentioned Steve Dave, and he messaged me, and like I'll just straight up fucking read it. He was like, "Oh, what did he say? Is the show on?" I said, "Yeah, we missed you, bro. We're still on. We're wondering where you're at." And he goes, I didn't even get the notification. I didn't even see it on the page. And he sends me a screenshot, and he goes, normally it's on the left-hand side. The funny thing is, I saw the 3 hours ago promo post that you did.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing else.
This is stupid. I'm so beyond pissed at this because I know there are a lot of people super excited. Like Noah was fucking stoked for this interview.
Right.
And like, what was it? Like right before the interview, I literally saw the listener numbers plummet.
Well, and when it said literally nothing, I go, so is that what it means when we have 0 listeners? You go, yeah. And then I logged back in and it went to 1. But yeah, so I actually copied the URL for the stream.
Yeah.
And I sent it to him. And he goes, yeah, this content is not available right now. So yeah, we got fucking zucked.
I got to figure some shit out. Because this is stupid. This is stupid. How do you build? Facebook wants you to utilize their platform.
Well, and then you got to pay to boost your shit so people see it.
And I give, I was looking at how much I've given Facebook since the start of Roxx 100. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that I've pumped into Roxx 100 to promote shit. And this is the product.
Right.
These videos are the product. And you're just like, no, sorry, can't do that. Then what the fuck am I paying for? Zuckerberg, you call me. My number is 313-829-0545. Call me, Zuck, and tell me what exactly I'm paying for if I can't use your platform for the radio show.
Right.
Why do you have that you can make a page for a radio show, but you can't do a fucking radio show?
Oh, I mean,
it's fucking stupid, and I'm so beyond pissed because usually when this shit happens, I've come to the, I've sucked it up that they mute the music. So I'm like, I put the new disclaimer up. Hey, right. In replays, you probably won't hear the music. I'm like, okay, maybe that'll entice people to listen live. And then when they go for the replay, just won't hear the music. You'll hear everything else.
Kind of
and
defeats the purpose of the show.
And now it's, you can't do your fucking radio show on here anymore.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm about to be like, yo, Zuck, suck it, bro. This is fucking stupid.
Well, so a couple of months ago, we, discussed maybe moving over to YouTube.
I think this is something that I'm going to really have to look. I think I'm just going to fucking do it. And just, instead of having the video, I'll just throw the YouTube link on there instead and see how that fucking rolls. Because I watch, radio or that do shows on YouTube.
Right.
And sometimes it'll get flagged and they'll like knock the live stream down for a couple minutes and then it'll pop back up,
right,
kind of thing. My Sonny Von
Cleef got killed like instantly.
Yeah, shut it down and never brought it back up.
Well, and the thing is, we noticed the 0 listeners, and then halfway through that interview, that's when, like, we didn't get any notifications. Steve Dave was like, hey, what the fuck's going on?
Like, there's nothing on the
Roxx 100.
The Roxx 100 page. There's freaking nothing.
So, like, they basically, like, silently ghosted us.
Yeah, see, Noah just sent me, he sent me a screenshot, too. This content isn't available right now. Fucking stupid.
And that was a good interview,
I'm so beyond pissed. Luckily, I have, I'm recording this video. It's recording onto my hard drive, so I have it. I can throw it up on YouTube, which is something that I think I'm going to have to, in this next week, look into, is just the move.
Or like Twitch we need to be able to be on a platform that doesn't censor it. And it's not because we're like anti-government or like we're getting censored for the one thing that like we want to try and help promote, and that's independent musicians, and we're getting like strike down for it. You know what I mean?
It's fucking stupid.
It's ridiculous.
I'm beyond pissed. I'm fucking livid.
I don't fault you, man.
I'm fucking livid. This is fucking the most unprofessional bullshit. And the thing is, Facebook doesn't send me what the problem is. Like if it's something like, can't play music, then it's like, okay, well, this obviously isn't the platform that we need to do this on.
Well, it's like we're getting a check engine light, and then when you run the codes, it doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what's the issue? Why am I getting flagged? Why is this getting
You know, what's going on? I'm not promoting any hate or anything like that.
Right.
I'm not telling people to go do stupid shit. You know, I'm not inciting riots with a dozen people.
Maybe it was your Tide Pod rant. I don't know.
Well, I think that was what.
But they allow that shit on TikTok and shit, so who knows?
It's freaking stupid.
It's really dumb.
It's really fucking stupid. So I'm gonna probably take this video, throw it, because Roxx 100 does have a YouTube channel. There ain't nothing on it. I think I'm gonna take this video, throw it up on YouTube so people can actually see this.
Right.
And the raw, unedited one, or this show could be one of those things where it's pre-recorded. We'll run it live, but just record it and then throw it on. There's things we can do, and I just got to figure out the best route to do it. Obviously, this isn't it.
Well,
obviously,
we've had this conversation more than once, and it wasn't because we got censored on this level, but we noticed little trends.
But the thing was, it's like,
but it wasn't consistent.
Like, yeah, they'd give me give me shit for a while, then they'd lay off. And everything would be running fine. Like, everything's been running fine for the most part for the last while. And then this time they're just like, nope, done. Right. Done. I can pull it up on my phone and it still freaking goes.
Well, yeah, and that's why I was like, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with the stream except just the number one.
Yeah, yours is still.
And you go, well, that's because you're the one listening. And I'm like, well, that's kind of bizarre. Like, we had Patty, we had Chris, our usual go-tos every week. And I was like, unless something crazy is going on in the world, the fact we have literally no viewers at all, kind of bizarre.
It's stupid. I'm beyond pissed. And Noah, I'm going to put this on YouTube tonight since I ain't got to work. I'm going to put the video up on YouTube so he can share it and people can actually listen to it.
That was a really good interview.
Because it was freaking awesome.
It was a really, really good interview. Younger artist, like tons and tons of, he's got knowledge like beyond his years kind of interview. And those are the ones we really like because it's not like the dude got like super lucky, but it was just like going inside the mind of a 17, 18-year-old that's in the rock music industry.
And already has the foresight and knows the hustle.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of.
And isn't falling into the pitfalls and shit like that.
Like Rikki Roxx.
Yeah.
But no, it was a really, really good interview. And it just sucks because, like, we want to give artists a platform to be able to showcase themselves. And it wasn't like we were talking about anything bad. We were just being real. And then we get fucking censored.
It's stupid.
Maybe it was my Beavis and Butthead comment. I don't know.
MTV didn't block it. Like, Sony gives me all these fucking problems. And it's like, what, do you own every fucking song ever? Fucking every jingle?
Welcome to America. Capitalism at its finest.
So we're going to get out of here. I'm going to throw this shit on YouTube. And I'm going to look into just streaming there. And I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with this platform. I'll still use it to promote it because we have 7,000 fucking likes and people like this shit. It's not millions of fucking people, but people dig it, and we're not gonna fucking stop. We're not gonna let Zuck us.
What's the difference between us just going live on YouTube and then just sharing the link?
There's no difference. It's just a different.
Is the interface, the quality?
The thing is, the chat would be really, because you'd have to go on YouTube and chat through that, as opposed to Facebook. That's really the only thing. That's the one thing that's kind of kept me from doing that, because I'm like, okay, you're taking people to a whole different platform.
Well, I mean, most people that tune in probably have a smartphone or they're on their computer.
Yeah,
I feel like it should be pretty seamless.
Yeah, I at the very least, I think we should give it a shot.
I mean, at the end of the day, if we have to make a 1-point lesson in a post, hey, because we're getting zucked, you got to do this.
Yeah.
I really don't see it being that difficult. The dedicated followers we have, it's multiple clicks. That's all. That's literally the only difference.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, but, maybe that's what needs to happen.
So to Noah, I know you can't see this right now or listen to it right now unless you tune in on Roxx100.com and you're listening to the audio stream. My own network doesn't cut me off, but Zuck will. Wow. So I'm gonna put this on YouTube so people can share it and all that. And I think next week we're gonna give YouTube a shot.
You heard it here first, folks.
All right, so I'm not gonna play a song. I'm just gonna go right to just fucking cutting it off and just end my bleeding. I think I might have to crack another one of these beers open today. That's how freaking irate I am.
I'll leave those two for you.
Yeah, you might have to leave those. I know I told you could take them
Ricky's
home.
going to sit down here stewing for hours.
Yeah. All right.
Well, fortunately enough for you, I'll be up till about 5-ish. So
yeah,
if you need to vent, I'll be around.
Yeah. All right. So next week, I'm guessing we'll probably be on YouTube and just do that and see how that fucking
whole
works.
Green screen's going to be YouTube banners, fucking getting promoted, getting paid.
Yeah.
And
that's another
in
thing.
Crypto.
That's the thing too. If you get enough streams on YouTube, you get paid.
That's kind of why I brought it up.
So I'm like, who knows?
Have that little donations button.
We'll see how it goes. All right. We're getting out of here, and I'm just going to end the bleeding. Take it easy, Kev. Have a good day off. Do anything from? I don't care. We're getting out of here. I'm done.
Peace, bitch.
Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks. It's Rikki Roxx, coming out of the box. Bitches come in flocks, trying to steal his jocks. He needs to be contained with padded rocks. It's the Rikki Roxx show, spreading like the pox. Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks. Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks, yeah. Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks. Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks, yeah. Rikki rocks up in your grill, motherfucker.
Hey, this is Rikki Roxx, and you are listening to Roxx100.com.